Do you think your confidence stays strong all the time, or does doubt creep in more often than you'd like? Are you looking for a reliable method to boost your self-confidence and face life's challenges head-on? Have you ever pondered how to keep believing in yourself, especially when the going gets tough? If these questions resonate with you, you've landed on a guide that could change the game for you. Welcome to an in-depth exploration into how the ancient wisdom of Stoicism can be your foundation for building unwavering confidence. Stoicism teaches us the importance of perception, control, and virtue in forging true confidence, not just a fleeting sense of self-assurance, but a deep, enduring belief in our own capabilities. This philosophy doesn't just help us weather life's storms, it shows us how to stand tall and confident through them, anchored by a calm and assured sense from within. As we dive into this guide, you'll notice some aspects of Stoicism are revisited and emphasized repeatedly. This isn't redundancy, it's a powerful technique. Repetition is crucial in Stoicism as it reinforces key concepts, making them second nature. Each repetition is an opportunity to deepen your understanding, integrate these principles more fully into your life, and solidify your confidence. It's through this process that the teachings of Stoicism can transform not just your sense of self-assurance, but your entire approach to life. Prepare for a journey that aims to not only elevate your confidence, but also fundamentally shift how you see yourself and interact with the world around you. By embracing the Stoic principles and harnessing the power of repetition, you'll unlock a level of confidence that is deeply rooted, resilient, and unaffected by external circumstances. Let's dive into the wisdom of Stoicism together, unlocking the path to true and lasting confidence. Imagine being on the edge of your fullest potential and feeling like something is pulling you back. That is the power of self-doubt. It slowly destroys your hopes and dreams. True confidence is more than a passing feeling. It's a vital skill, a deep mindset that shapes your journey in life. How much you achieve depends a lot on how much you believe in yourself. Think about how often fear and doubt hold back people with great potential who are ready to do amazing things. Today, we dive into real, strong tips based in Stoicism meant to help you recover your self-confidence. These methods aren't just ideas. They're real steps that can be taken to deal with the problems of modern life. They were made to help you find your way to becoming your best self. Remember, the journey to self-confidence isn't about transforming into someone else. It's about peeling back the layers of doubt to reveal the capable, resilient person you've always been. 1. Get to know yourself. Discovering who you are isn't just a trip. It's the basis of recovering lost self-confidence. Take a moment to think about what makes you do what you do. Are they based on real values? Or are you just doing what other people expect of you? Stoic philosophers like Epictetus taught that this kind of self-reflection is at the heart of Stoicism. It's not enough to know your skills and flaws. You need to know who you are at your heart. This deep self-awareness is the secret to authentic self-confidence. It starts inside you and changes you, getting in touch with your real self through your deeds. Everyday life is full of obstacles, and how we respond to them often defines who we are. When these things happen, take a moment to think about them. Are the things you do really in line with what you believe, or are they just automatic answers to outside pressures? Building self-confidence is about more than just being brave. It's about making choices that resonate with who you really are. This authenticity breeds confidence. When you act in harmony with your true self, each decision reinforces your self-belief, nurturing a confidence that's deeply rooted and unwavering. 2. Know that you can't change everything. Do you ever feel like you're pushing against a wall that won't move? It's tiring and, to be honest, not really necessary. Life is like that. Some things just won't change no matter how hard we try. Stoicism has a strong twist. It's not about how hard you push, but knowing what to push and what to let go. This is the crux of regaining your lost confidence. Giving up is not an option. It's about having a smart plan. Let us break it down. There are times when we all feel like we can't do anything and are stuck in a storm of things we can't control. From here on out, our stern knowledge comes into play. You should ask yourself, am I trying to control the uncontrollable? Let's face it, we can't tell other people what to do, turn back time, or see into the future. But here's your power move. Think about what you can change, like how people behave, what choices they make, and what they do. These are your real lands of power. By moving your energy here, you get stronger, more flexible, and most importantly, more sure of yourself. It's like getting better at a game where you know the rules and use your best moves. Think about this. Accepting what can't be changed isn't the same thing as giving up. It's a smart goal. Being free to do well in the moment means not having to worry about the past or the future. Especially when things don't go your way, learn to treat yourself with kindness. That's not only okay, it's necessary for growth for everyone to trip up sometimes. You feel more confident when you think this way, and it also adds a sense of calm knowledge to your daily life. You're not just growing in confidence, you're evolving into a wiser, more serene version of yourself, living a life that's richer and more meaningful. Remember, true confidence isn't about dominating every aspect of life. It's about mastering your responses and focusing on your strengths. You're not just getting through the storm, you're also learning how to dance in it. 3. Pay attention to what's important and ignore the rest. Stoicism isn't just an old philosophy. It's also a way to find peace in a world full of distractions for modern people. When did you last really feel like you were in charge? When did it happen? When your mind was racing between social media alerts and the latest news, or when you were deeply involved in something that was important to you? Stoic ruler Marcus Aurelius said, "Our life is what our thoughts make it." What you think about changes what you experience. It's a strong tool, but many of us let it rust because of the stress of daily life. To get your attention back, you have to figure out what takes it away. It could be the buzzing of your phone, the need to please everyone, or your fears that are making it hard to think straight. Know who these thieves are and take steps to limit their control over you. Set limits, like no technology during certain hours, or learn how to say no to requests that drain your energy. Focus on getting stronger like a muscle. Meditation isn't just a trend. It's been used for a very long time to keep your mind on the moment. Ask yourself at the start of the day, what's the one thing I need to get done today? This will help you focus on what's important and give you more confidence in your way. Focusing is more than just a skill. It's the key to peace of mind and confidence in yourself. You're not just getting things done when you focus on what's important. You're making a fortress of calm in a world full of chaos. This is the way of the patient. Understanding that the power to focus isn't just about getting things done, but about crafting a life of purpose and confidence. 4. Make yourself stronger. Being tough isn't something you're born with. You learn it through life's lessons. Stoicism is a great way to learn this skill because it helps us turn life's hardest lessons into our biggest strengths. Think of toughness as your shield in life's battles, not just to protect you from harm, but also to help you win. Every task helps you learn and grow. It's not the events, but our reaction to them that truly defines us. said the wise Seneca. Every fall and stumbling step is a chance to get back up stronger. When life throws you a surprise, don't back down. Instead, ask your inner self, what lesson lies here? This change in view turns every problem into a stepping stone that leads you closer to knowledge and resilience. Being stoic means being strong and resilient. Do not avoid or be afraid of problems. Instead, face them with courage. When you get past a problem or face your fear, you're not just living, you're becoming a stronger, more confident person. Remember that resilience is more than just being able to weather the storm. It's also about being able to dance in the rain. Approach every scenario with a calm mind, whether you're doing something that's been put off for a long time or dealing with a personal loss. Not the event itself, but how you deal with it. Face life's trials with confidence, knowing that each one is a chance for growth and protection. Acceptance, long-term vision, thanks, and a sense of community are all parts of real stoic toughness. Remember that the road of life isn't always easy or fair, but it can be walked with strength and grace. This understanding isn't giving up. It's realizing that problems are a part of life and that we're ready to deal with them. Being tough also means looking past your problems and thinking about how they will affect your future. Keep practicing thanks. It will give you hope when things are bad and help you see problems as chances to grow. Also, don't forget how powerful community can be. Having encouraging people around you not only makes you feel better, but it also helps you remember that you're not fighting life's fights by yourself. This stern path to getting tougher is a commitment to learning and growing for life. Every event, no matter how happy or trying, teaches you something about yourself and the world. Accept that your life will change and have faith that you have the strength and knowledge to get through it. Stoic toughness is basically a deep roadmap for getting through life. It teaches us to face difficulties head-on, learn from them, and harness them to build our confidence and resilience. We become smarter, stronger, and more self-assured when we practice Stoicism rather than just getting through difficulties. 5. Get more humble. Embracing humility is like unlocking a secret door to confidence. You don't need to dim your light. You just need to realize that there are a million other lights around you. We often trip over our own pride, mistaking it for confidence. But there is one truth that has stood the test of time, going back to the wise Stoic thinkers like Epictetus. The first step to real knowledge is to admit that you don't know something. Being humble is the key to growth. Think of humility as dirt that is full of possibilities. Just as a plant doesn't shoot up overnight, neither does genuine confidence. Every day they do it. Talk less and listen more. Know that there are other points of view besides your own. When you achieve, think about what other people did to help you. Being aware that everyone can teach you something is a sign of power. In today's world, looks are often more important than authenticity, but people are really wanting to connect with each other. By recognizing that you're a part of a bigger picture, humility lets these relationships happen. You're not making yourself less valuable, you're making it more valuable. Everyone you meet has a world of experiences that are different from yours. They don't make you smaller when you learn from them. They make your world bigger. And in this expanded world, your confidence finds its true north. You're not only showing respect when you give people credit for their achievements and see their worth, you're also creating a rich fabric of different points of view, not about who is right, but about being willing to learn from everything that life has to offer. This approach not only deepens your relationships, but also solidifies your confidence on a foundation of mutual respect and continuous learning. Being humble also means going inside yourself. To be honest with yourself, admit your mistakes, and take steps to fix them. you need to have courage. Being aware of yourself is a great way to grow. People should be thankful for their lives, their loved ones, and the chances they get. Being thankful keeps you rooted and linked, and it helps you remember that you're a part of something bigger. As you cultivate humility, you don't just grow in confidence. You become a beacon for others, inspiring respect and admiration. To review, a wise Stoic teacher in the 21st century knows that humility is not a sign of weakness, but a badge of strength that shows you're ready to learn, grow, and connect deeply with the world around you. Sixth, know what you believe and live by it. As you go through life, have you ever felt like you're just floating, not sure where you are? It's normal to feel that way, but your personal values can help you stay strong. These aren't just idle thoughts. They are the bedrock of genuine, enduring confidence. Honesty, dedication, bravery, and kindness are some of the ideals that you hold dear. These aren't just words, they're waypoints that will help you find your way. Being in line with these values isn't something you can do on the side. You have to do it every day, like having a strong hand steering your life through calm and dangerous seas. Let's talk about honesty, which is a very strong word. If you live with ethics, your deeds will always match up with what you believe. It is hard, especially when everything around you tries to pull you away from your path. But this is where the change happens. Your self-esteem goes through the roof every time you choose to be true to yourself over the easier road. You're not just saying that what you believe is important, you're doing things that show it. This isn't about big actions, it's in the little things you do every day. If being honest is important to you, then speak the truth, even when it seems easy to lie. If showing kindness is what your heart desires, do so in quiet, unnoticed ways. These little steps will help you become the person you want to be. Do not forget that perfection is not the goal. What matters is that you learn from your mistakes and use them as stepping stones instead of tripping blocks. Realize that living by your morals isn't just a win for you, it's a light for other people to follow. You become a live example of authenticity and dependability when you firmly uphold your beliefs. When your beliefs and actions are in sync, you not only feel calm inside, but people will also respect and trust you. It also entails taking responsibility for your actions and the results of those actions, whether they were good or bad, and holding yourself responsible. Self-reflection should be done frequently. Think about your options and make sure they fit with your goals. It's not a one-time thing to do. It's a process of growth and self-improvement that lasts a lifetime. You become more than just bold when you live your views out loud. You become a guidepost, an example, and a testament to the unbreakable power of being true to yourself. Seventh, show gratitude every day. Gratitude, often whispered in the winds of Stoicism, is a mighty tool in regaining lost self-confidence. It's not just about the big things that happen in life. It's also about celebrating the little wins and joys that happen every day. Imagine that you wake up and choose not to let your fears cloud your judgment. Instead, you take a moment to reflect. You are thankful for 3 easy things. What is it? It could be the birds singing outside your window, the comfort of your favorite t-shirt, or even a text message from a friend. This advice isn't just nice to hear, it's a plan. Finding the good in things helps you see the glass as half full instead of half empty, shifting your attention from what's missing to what is present. But being grateful isn't something you do by yourself. You have to recognize the part other people play in your life. Take a moment to thank the bartender who makes your coffee every morning, or the friend who is always there for you. Saying thank you might seem simple, yet it builds bridges, nurtures a deep-seated confidence that you can handle whatever life throws your way. The Stoic thinkers knew how powerful thanks could be and taught it as a key part of living a full life. Seneca, a Roman Stoic philosopher, said, "True happiness is to enjoy the present without worrying about the future. Being grateful is what makes you happy in the moment. You're less likely to worry about what you don't have when you're thankful for what you do have. Being grateful isn't just a feeling, it's a way of life and a way of seeing the world." Start small by writing in a gratitude notebook. Write down 3 things you're grateful for every day. Soon, you'll notice that yourself is constantly looking for small moments of beauty and joy. And as you practice gratitude, you'll notice a subtle shift in your confidence. When you remember that even in the worst times, there is always a small bright spot in life, you'll feel a little stronger. This doesn't mean you should ignore the difficulties you're facing. Rather, it means you should face them with ease and resilience. Gratitude doesn't just make life better, it makes you better, nurturing a confidence that's rooted not in external circumstances, but in the deep well of joy and contentment within you. As you go through life, remember how powerful it is to be thankful. Cultivate it daily, nurture it like a precious seed, and watch as it blossoms into a life of unshakable confidence and joy. In conclusion, the path to regaining lost self-confidence is not a quick fix. It's a journey of self-discovery and growth. Drawing wisdom from the ancient teachings of Stoicism, we've explored practical strategies to reclaim your confidence and live a life of purpose and authenticity. From understanding yourself to embracing humility, from focusing on what matters to practicing gratitude daily, each step is a building block in the foundation of your confidence. It's not about becoming someone else. It's about finding the strong, capable person you've always been. So, as you embark on this journey, remember, true confidence isn't about being flawless. It's about embracing your imperfections and growing from them. It's about standing tall in the face of adversity, knowing that you have the strength and knowledge to handle life's obstacles with grace and resilience. You are powerful, you are worthy, and you are enough. Embrace the trip, trust in yourself, and watch as your confidence soars to new heights. Have you had enough of not being sure of yourself and feeling insecure? Wouldn't it be wonderful to radiate confidence in all facets of your life? Using the ideas of Stoicism, we will now tell you how to become very sure of yourself. Stoicism is a classical philosophy that teaches us how to develop inner fortitude and resilience in the face of adversity. Principle 1. Love and take care of yourself. Stoicism instills in us a sense of value for our own well-being. Being selfish or narcissistic is not what self-love means. It means knowing how valuable we are and taking care of our physical, emotional, and mental health that way. We naturally radiate confidence when we love and look after ourselves. The Stoics teach that self-love is not about being selfish or narcissistic. It's about knowing how valuable we are and that we deserve to be treated with respect and kindness by ourselves and by others. We build our self-esteem and confidence on this recognition. In line with this concept, we should take care of our bodies. This might mean taking care of our personal cleanliness, having a balanced diet, and working out regularly. Our self-esteem and confidence are both increased when we are physically healthy. You should take care of both your emotional and mental health. Dealing with stress, getting help when we need it, sharing our feelings in a healthy way, and doing things we enjoy and that make us feel good about ourselves are some of the things that could help us do this. We are better able to handle life's problems when we are emotionally and mentally healthy, which boosts our confidence. Stoicism instructs us to be aware of our innermost ideas and self-perception. We must have the courage to question any unfavorable self-perceptions we may have and to emphasize our strengths. Being consistent with good self-talk can make us feel a lot better about our own confidence. We develop a strong and good bond with ourselves by accepting self-love and care for ourselves. We gain more self-confidence, acceptance of our skills and flaws, and comfort in our own skin. We can move through life with more confidence and ease if we exhibit this self-assurance, which is obvious to others. Always keep in mind that building confidence is a process that takes time. We can learn to love ourselves, take care of our health, and gain the great confidence we want in life by following the path of Stoicism. Second principle: get rid of ideas that hold you back and open yourself up to options. Stoicism gives us the courage to question our preconceived notions. We don't do something or aren't good enough because of these thoughts. People can break free from self-imposed limits and boost their confidence by questioning their views and being open to the possibilities. Some of the things that can lead to limiting views are our own fears and doubts, social standards, and things that happened in the past. A lack of confidence can come from them, making us doubt our skills and worth. Stoicism instructs us to challenge these assumptions. It requires us to question the truth of these limited ideas by seriously and independently analyzing our thoughts. As uncomfortable as it may be, this process is important to get past the limits you set for yourself. Stoicism gives us the courage to accept the options after we've recognized and questioned our limited beliefs. By doing this, we are letting ourselves think about what might happen if we let go of our limited ideas. We have the power to make our own lives better and can do more than we think. Let's see chances where we once saw problems by being open to the options. Seeing that our limited beliefs don't hold us back and that we have the power to reach our goals gives us more confidence. We can get past our limited views, see what's possible, and build our confidence by putting this Stoic principle into practice. It gives us the ability to control our thinking, have faith in our skills, and live a life full of confidence and happiness. Remember that the things we believe affect the things that happen to us. We can make changes in our lives and feel more confidence if we swap the ideas we hold. The third principle is to build confidence that is in line with your goals. When it comes to confidence, Stoicism says we should make sure it lines up with our goals. Being sure of our abilities to do what we set out to do is what this means. To succeed, you need to set attainable goals, create a strategy, and act on it. Our confidence and our goals are more likely to come true when they are in line with each other. Being confident means believing in our own skills to deal with life's problems and reach our goals, not just liking how we look. As we learn from Stoicism, this kind of confidence comes from within and is built up over time by working hard and gained experience. To start this process, you need to set goals that are attainable. It's important that these goals are both hard and attainable so that they push us to grow and set us up for success. Having a feeling of purpose and direction is important, so they should be in line with our ideals and interests. Stoicism gives us the courage to create a plan once we know our objectives. Our goals need to be broken down into smaller projects that we can handle and a deadline for when we need to complete them. Clear plans make us feel in charge and boost our confidence. The next step is to do something about it. Stoicism tells us that doing things for confidence, not just thinking about them or making plans for them, is important. No matter how small the step, it gives us more confidence and brings us closer to our goals. People who follow Stoicism say that we should often think about how things are going. We can then see what we've done well, what we could have done better, and make any necessary changes to our plans. To keep ourselves inspired and boost our confidence, we do this. We can build a deep-seated confidence that helps us reach our goals by following this step of Stoicism. Take charge of your life, believe in your skills, and reach your goals with this power. Always keep in mind that confidence is not something that is given to us. It's something that we build up by working hard and not giving up. We can gain the great confidence we want in life by following the path of Stoicism. Factor 4. Change the way you talk and stand. Speaking of body language and stance, Stoicism also talks about how important they are. Some things that can help us feel more confident are standing tall, looking someone in the eye, and keeping our bodies open. Our inner confidence shows up in the form of this. Simple but effective ways to boost our confidence include standing tall. Height makes us stand out and gives the impression that we are strong and sure of ourselves. The way other people see us and the way we see ourselves are both affected by this. Stoicism teaches us that we can increase our feelings of self-assurance by consciously choosing to adopt a confident stance. Stillness also talks about making eye contact, which is an important part of body language. It shows that you are interested, paying attention, and sure of yourself when you make eye contact. Making connections with others and letting them know we're there is what it means. Additionally, it is important to use open body language. One way to avoid looking aggressive or cut off is to avoid crossing our arms or legs. Stoicism, on the other hand, tells us to stand with our arms open and our shoulders back to show our confidence and openness. It's important to remember that these physical changes aren't an attempt to hide who we are. Rather, they're a way for us to show how confident we are in our own bodies. According to Stoicism, our bodies and thoughts are deeply linked, and we can change how we feel by changing how we stand and move. Utilizing this Stoic concept, we can change the way we stand and speak to boost our confidence. Having a lot of confidence in life is a useful and successful skill. Keep in mind that confidence isn't just in your head, it's in your body too. And by following the example of Stoicism, we can learn to exude confidence in all its forms. 5. Figure out what your basic wants are. As the principles of Stoicism explain, one of the most important things you can do to build great confidence in life is to think about your basic human needs. By emphasizing our basic wants, such as food, safety, and company, this philosophy gives us the courage to put them first. As long as these basic needs are met, we feel safe and stable, which boosts our confidence in a big way. There is a strong basis for confidence in all areas of our lives that we can build and keep by regularly evaluating and making sure that these core needs are being met. We feel safe and well-being, for example, when we have access to enough food and a nice place to live. As a result, we can focus on other parts of our lives with more confidence and less anxiety, as we worry less about our immediate survival. In order to meet our mental and social needs, companionship is very important. Associating with people who understand and accept us, and who are there for us, makes us feel like we belong and gives us confidence when we talk to other people. Every so often, we can find any holes or places that need more attention by looking at our basic human wants. By being aware of these needs and taking steps to meet them, we can boost our confidence even more. We can put self-care first and build a strong base of security and confidence in all facets of life by exercising Stoicism and adding the idea of reviewing basic human needs. Principle 6. You can strengthen yourself by talking positively to yourself. One important thing that Stoicism teaches is how to talk positively to yourself. There are positive thoughts that can replace negative ones, giving us power and confidence. Never forget that what we think affects how we feel and what we do. Philosopher Stoic says that our thoughts have a big effect on how we feel and act. It is possible to increase our self-empowerment and confidence by consciously changing our thinking to be more positive and powerful. Bad self-talk makes us feel bad about our strengths and flaws. Our growth and ability to reach our full potential can be slowed down by these thoughts. To change those negative thoughts into positive ones, we need to practice positive self-talk. This will motivate us to act and highlight our skills and abilities. Rewiring our thought processes over time with positive self-talk helps us become more hopeful and sure of ourselves. As we push ourselves to go beyond our comfort zones and beat challenges, this change in perspective gives us more self-assurance when facing challenges. Building up our positive self-talk in line with Stoic ideas gives us the power to improve our mental and emotional health. We can strengthen our self-belief, develop resilience, and ultimately live a more contented and confident life by becoming aware of the impact of our thoughts and consciously choosing positive storylines. Thought 7. Think about the good things you've done in the past. Stoicism pushes us to consider the good things we've done in the past. Our confidence grows as we understand what we can do. If we do something good, no matter how small it seems, we should enjoy it. It's very helpful to become more self-aware and aware of what we can do by thinking about our past successes and accomplishments. We gain confidence and faith in our skills by recognizing and appreciating our past wins, no matter how small they may seem. Instead of focused on our successes, we often downplay or forget about the things we've done well. Stoicism says that people shouldn't think this way. Instead, they should focus on the things they've done well in the past. We can become more optimistic and self-assured as a result of this practice, and we become more aware of our skills and possibilities. Learning about the skills, talents, and traits that have helped us succeed in the past helps us understand what we have already done. Looking back on the things we've done well in the past helps us remember that we can handle problems in the future. We develop a sense of resilience and tenacity as a result, which gives us more confidence going into our future efforts. According to Stoicism, one of the best ways to improve our confidence is to think about the good things we've done in the past. We can build the confidence we need to face life's problems with great ease if we celebrate and appreciate our successes, no matter how small they may be. Use the power of visualizing your goals. Principle 8. Thinking about reaching our goals can boost our confidence and drive, which will make our goals seem more attainable. Dreaming up clear pictures or scenes of achieving our goals is called goal vision. Imagining the steps, feelings, and happiness that come with reaching our goals is an important part of visualization. We can change our thoughts and views for the better by visualizing our goals. We can connect mentally with our goals when we picture ourselves achieving them, which boosts our confidence in our abilities. As a result, we start to see our goals as both possible and within our reach, which boosts our self-confidence. Visualizing things helps us become self-motivated and gives us energy all the time. It's easier to take the steps and put in the work we need to in order to make our dreams come true when we have a clear picture of ourselves winning. It serves as a constant reflection of our potential and gives us the courage to keep going even when things get tough. Focusing on our goals helps us feel good about ourselves and gives our lives meaning. Our minds are trained to see chances, come up with good plans, and stay strong when things go wrong when we keep our attention on the goal. Our confidence in our capacity to deal with life's uncertainties consequently increases greatly. Stoicism suggests that we can greatly increase our confidence in life by using the power of visualizing our goals. Our self-confidence, drive, and chances of success are all improved when we have clear mental pictures of ourselves achieving our goals. Remember that life doesn't stop when you put things off. That's why the Stoics said that people who put off virtue or waiting for a better time are the biggest fools, because time moves forward all the time. You only really have this moment right now, which means this is the only real time you can do good things and live by the Stoic values of virtue, courage, justice, and knowledge. So, don't wait for the right time. Instead, use the present moment as it is. It's to remind yourself of the Stoic principle that life moves quickly when we put things off. One lesson: the need to live in the present moment, recognizing that it is a part of the bigger picture of life and that time is a line that runs through it. When you look for knowledge and inner peace, the lessons of Stoicism shine like a bright light. The Stoics, who had a deep understanding of how people live, tell us that our time on earth is short. Marcus Aurelius, one of the most important figures in Stoic philosophy, said, "Time is a river, a violent current of events, glimpsed once and already carried past us. Another follows and is gone." This powerful metaphor is not a sorrow, but a call to action. It tells us to jump into the river of now and swim hard against the current of putting things off and being lazy. The Stoic view says that waiting is like denying yourself the pleasure of fully living in the present moment. This is the only time when we can really use our will, make choices that matter, and shape our future. Stoicism says that the present moment is more than just a point in time. It is a way to practice virtue. The Stoic principle tells us to focus on what we can control: our thoughts, actions, and responses. Marcus Aurelius tells us, "Don't waste the rest of your time here worrying about other people unless it affects the common good. It will keep you from doing anything useful." At this very moment, the Stoic qualities of knowledge, courage, justice, and moderation are being practiced in war. Every second you waste worrying or being jealous is a second you could have used to train these qualities. So, the Stoic doesn't try to fill their time with pointless activities. Rather, they try to fill it with useful activities that help them and the community as a whole. Adopting the present moment aligns us with the Stoic ideal of living in harmony with nature, understanding our place in the bigger picture of life, and acting in a way that benefits everyone. Giving in to the moment is a way to fight back against the control of the past and the doubt of the future. If you want to be free from the chains of guilt and anxiety, this is your statement. Another great Stoic, Seneca, tells us, "Putting things off is the biggest waste of life. It snatches away each day as it comes and denies us the present by promising the future." The Stoic finds freedom in this pursuit, freedom to act, to change, and to live in an honest way. Like Epictetus says, we can really ask for the best for ourselves right now, not some faraway tomorrow that might never come. So, a Stoic doesn't wait for things to be perfect. Instead, they make the present moment the place where they show their virtue and build their character. When we think this way, we don't just move through time, we take it, shape it, and in the process, form ourselves. The clear lesson from Stoicism is to respect the present, because growth, satisfaction, and peace can all happen in the here and now. In its never-ending march, life doesn't wait for anyone. So, smart people don't put off practicing virtue. Instead, they do it every moment, making the ordinary special and the everyday important. The second lesson is about the knowledge of time management and how to use logic to make good use of time. In the complicated dance of life, where time is the song and we all move to it, Stoicism teaches us to dance with purpose. Marcus Aurelius, a Roman emperor and Stoic philosopher, stressed how important it is to be logical when choosing how to spend our most valuable resource, time. He fought for a rational life in which our choices are based on our inner values as well as our short-term wants. This logical way of handling our time asks us to look closely at our goals and tell the difference between what is really important and what is just urgent. By doing this, we make sure that our actions are in line with our greatest values. We spend our time doing things that help others, help us grow, and bring us closer to the Stoic ideal of a good life. From this point of view, managing our time becomes an exercise in knowledge, a way to plan our days so that we can show the virtues we value. Taking on time with courage and discipline. The Stoic view of time encourages us to take on each day with courage and discipline, knowing that every moment is a chance to practice virtue. As Aurelius says, remember how long you've been putting this off, that there is a limit to the time assigned you, and if you don't use it to free yourself, it will be gone and will never return. This powerful thought inspires us to act, telling us to seize the present with all our might. We learn to face our duties, responsibilities, and even our free time with purpose, because we know that putting things off and not doing them can ruin the very core of life. Stoicism doesn't call for a never-ending grind. Instead, it encourages a balanced, careful approach to our work, where we spend our time not on pointless activities, but on things that make us better people and make our minds richer. Accepting that time is limited and that life is temporary is a strong way to handle your time as a Stoic. By remembering how short and fleeting life is, like Aurelius does when he writes, "Time, how brief and fleeting your allotment of it, we are moved to value every second." Being aware of death doesn't make you fixate on it, but it does make you live life to the fullest. We must have the courage to live each day as if it were both the first and the last, giving our actions meaning and importance. This lesson from the Stoics teaches us to be grateful for the limited time we have, to make the most of the chances we are given, and to leave a legacy of virtue and knowledge. It's a call to live fully, not out of fear that time will pass, but because each moment has so much promise. Lesson 3. Being open to change is a virtue, and Stoics are flexible about how they value time. The Stoic philosophy, which comes from the writings of Marcus Aurelius and Epictetus, says that change is the only thing that stays the same in the world. The way we value and use our time is deeply affected by this idea. Aurelius thought, "Some things are rushing into existence, others out of it. Some of what exists now is already gone." The world is always changing and fluxing, just like time is always moving forward and changing forever. It is not a sign of defeat to accept the constant flow of change. Rather, it is a call to flexibility and resilience. If you look at time through the eyes of a Stoic, you will understand and accept that our lives, our relationships, and even ourselves change over time. We must have the courage to see each moment as valuable and one of a kind, a brief chance to be good, learn, and develop. Adapting to change with virtue. When life changes, Stoicism doesn't say to just accept it. Instead, it says to be actively involved in a way that is in line with virtue. The philosophy tells us to deal with change by having a measured amount of knowledge, courage, justice, and temperance. These 4 cardinal virtues will help us navigate the ups and downs of life and make sure we always act in line with our greatest goals, no matter what is going on around us. We learn to handle our time and actions with ease and openness when we adopt the Stoic way of accepting change. This means setting priorities for our duties and promises in a way that takes into account both the present situation and our long-term goals and ideals. Being ready to change our plans and goals as the world around us changes is what it means to make the most of the present. The Stoic way of accepting change and living in the present moment teaches us to value time as the place where we show our strengths and reach our full potential. Remembering Epictetus's quote that nothing great is created suddenly, any more than a bunch of grapes or a fig, shows how important it is to be patient and keep going even when things change. It means realizing that success and growth are processes that happen over time and are shaped by the things we do and how we change over time. This way of looking at things makes us want to give our jobs and relationships our full attention, because we know that the most important thing in life is not what we achieve, but how we grow as people. We learn to appreciate the present and be open to the opportunities that change brings when we see each moment as an important part of our life story that can't be replaced. Fourth lesson: the practice of self-reflection and Stoic ideas about how to spend time wisely. Stoicism puts a lot of importance on being self-aware and mindful, and it encourages us to think about ourselves every day as a way to value and use our time well. In his personal works, Marcus Aurelius shows that he was devoted to this habit, showing that it is an important part of Stoic discipline. Every day, we give ourselves time to think about our thoughts, actions, and the reasons behind them. This helps us understand our place in the world and our duties to ourselves and others better. This practice of reflection is more than just a way to think about yourself. It's a focused way to live your daily life in line with the ideals of knowledge, courage, justice, and moderation. We check to see if how we spend our time is in line with our greatest values through self-reflection. If it isn't, we make changes to make sure that our actions are planned and thoughtful. Thinking about yourself can help you grow as a person, and it can also help you get better. We must have the courage to ask ourselves, have I spent my time today in a way that helps me grow as a good person? Have I shown kindness, understanding, and resilience by acting in these ways? Talking to yourself all the time makes you more responsible for your time and actions, pushing you to make decisions that are not only logical, but also socially and ethically sound. By looking at our actions and the results of them on a daily basis, we get better at finding places to improve, which leads to real change. Value of time isn't just about being efficient or productive, as this Stoic lesson teaches us. It's also about growth, learning, and the never-ending goal of virtue. Our relationship with time is transformed when thought is incorporated into daily life. Every day becomes a chance for self-evaluation and adjustment, ensuring that we stay committed to our long-term goals and in line with our core values. This doesn't have to be done alone or away from other people for long periods of time. Instead, it can be done during quiet times during the day, like in the morning, to set intentions, or in the evening to reflect on successes and failures, or even while doing something to stay mindful and present. The important thing is to do the practice regularly and honestly so that it becomes a normal part of our daily lives. In this way, we not only respect the Stoic tradition, but we also give ourselves the power to live a fuller life, making every moment count toward building a good and well thought out life. 5. The power of now, with a focus on present behavior from a Stoic point of view. Stoicism, a philosophy known for being deep and useful, teaches us how important it is to live in the present. Marcus Aurelius, a great Stoic, says it so well: the future is out of our hands. He tells us to put our attention and energy on the here and now. Remember, no matter how small your part is, time, how short and fleeting your share of it, fate, how small a part you play in it. This thought is not meant to make us less important, but to show how valuable the present moment is. In the big scheme of things, time is limited, so we need to make the most of each day, not in a selfish rush, but by being aware of the possibilities and tasks that lie ahead of us. The Stoic way of valuing time is based on the practice of present action, which means being fully present with life as it happens, giving our work and relationships our all, and using every moment as a chance to show our virtue. As a lesson on the power of now and the discipline of action over procrastination, the Stoics also give a strong warning about the dangers of putting things off. Seneca, another famous Stoic, says it's silly to put off living for a future that might never come. He stresses that the future is full of doubt. This philosophy, live immediately, pushes us to face our problems and chores right away, because we know that the practice of action is a key part of our freedom and agency. In this light, putting things off is seen not only as a problem with managing time, but also as a moral failing, as a refusal to deal with the moment in a meaningful and useful way. Stoics believe that time should be valued as a precious gift and should not be wasted. Instead, it should be used for activities that show our dedication to personal growth and the well-being of others. By following the Stoic practice of action, we learn to plan our days with purpose and drive, making sure that our time isn't wasted on thinking about what to do, but spent on seeking knowledge and virtue. The Stoic focus on the power of now is not just an idea, it is a way to live that incorporates Stoic ideals into everyday life. Mindfulness and action should be a part of our daily lives, and we should be fully present in everything we do, whether it's work, school, or fun. To do this, we have to consciously pay attention to our behaviors and thoughts and make sure they are in line with our ideals and goals. Being flexible and ready to take advantage of unplanned chances to learn and grow is also part of it. Adopting this Stoic way of thinking helps us live a meaningful and happy life, showing that the real value of time is not how much we use it, but how well we use it in the present. The sixth lesson is about the virtue of waiting and Stoic ideas about time and endurance. In a time when speed and efficiency are valued, Stoicism gives a different view on why waiting is important. Seneca and other Stoic thinkers saw patience as more than just a virtue for waiting. They saw it as a deep knowledge of how time works. Epictetus said, "Nothing great is made all of a sudden, any more than a bunch of grapes or a fig." He was saying that everything valuable takes time to grow. This Stoic understanding of waiting challenges us to re-evaluate our standards and accept that important goals and personal development cannot be rushed. In our personal and professional lives, it teaches us to trust the process and the passing of time, even when growth is slow and hard to see. When we value patience, we learn to enjoy the present moment, because we know that time spent waiting or being angry is time not fully lived. Stoicism gives us a way to deal with the hard things in life and keep going after our goals without getting stressed out about running out of time. To become wise, the Stoic virtue of patience is more than just endurance. It leads to knowledge and a better understanding of how complicated life is. We give ourselves time to think, learn, and change by being patient. We know that knowledge often comes from thinking about our events over time. This Stoic practice gives us the courage to see delays and problems as chances to learn and grow, not as problems. It makes us remember that the most important lessons are often the ones that take time to learn and apply to our lives. By practicing patience, we also gain a greater sense of peace and happiness, which makes it easier to value and make good use of our time. Stoicism teaches us that by practicing waiting, we can better match ourselves with the natural flow of life and become more in tune with its rhythms. Through this, our connection with time changes, and we become more appreciative of the present and more thoughtful about the future. Lesson 7. How to set priorities and some Stoic advice on what's important. Setting priorities is not just a way to handle your time in the world of Stoicism. It is an essential part of living a good and worthwhile life. With their deep knowledge of both people and the world, the Stoics teach us how important it is to tell the difference between what is important and what is not. In his thoughts, Marcus Aurelius stressed the importance of focused on what we can control and letting go of what we can't. This Stoic advice is directly related to how we spend our time. It tells us to put our energy and resources into things that are in line with our core values and help us grow and be happy. By learning how to set priorities, we can handle the stresses and distractions of daily life with wisdom, focusing on the things that really matter and giving up the things that get in the way of our goals. This focused attention not only makes our lives better, but it also makes us more involved with the present moment, which lets us live more fully and honestly. The virtue of saying no is at the heart of the Stoic art of setting priorities. It is a strong act of self-determination and clarity. Throughout his writings, Seneca warned us not to waste our limited time on pointless or unimportant activities. He also stressed the importance of having the courage to say no to requests and offers that do not help us reach our greater goals. This part of Stoicism encourages us to set limits and think carefully about our responsibilities, making sure they are in line with our deepest beliefs and goals. Being able to say no doesn't mean we don't like other people. It means we believe in ourselves and want to live by Stoic ideals. It frees us from the pressure of the pressing, the pull of social standards, and the clutter of activities that aren't necessary. This gives us the room and freedom to grow in virtue, knowledge, and happiness. We respect our time as a valuable resource by saying no on a regular basis. We then use that time to do things that make our lives and the lives of those around us better, which is the Stoic ideal of useful living. Lesson 8. Mindfulness, or the Stoic way of accepting each moment. Stoicism, in its most basic form, pushes people to be fully present in the present moment and to live their lives with awareness and attention. According to this old philosophy, the quality of our time is not measured by how many things we get done, but by how deeply we are present in each one. Marcus Aurelius, a famous Stoic, was aware by constantly telling himself to pay attention to the job at hand, live in the present, and enjoy the beauty and importance of the here and now. In his view, staying in the present moment was the key to making the most of our time and turning everyday events into chances to grow in knowledge, virtue, and joy. Stoicism, then, provides a framework for awareness that goes beyond just meditation or reflection. It is a way of life that makes every action, choice, and encounter conscious and focused. By practicing awareness in a Stoic way, we learn to handle the stresses and distractions of daily life with calm, making sure that we spend our time in ways that are important and in line with our core values. The power of presence. The Stoic practice of mindfulness stresses the changing power of presence when it comes to time. It teaches us that being fully present in every moment is not only a way to value time, but also a way to make life more interesting. Focusing on the present moment frees us from regrets about the past and worries about the future, letting us enjoy life as it happens. When you are present and aware, time gains more value and meaning, and even the easiest tasks become deep experiences. This is what the Stoics knew. By practicing mindfulness, we learn to be thankful for the present moment, realizing that it will not last forever and how important it is to fully enjoy it. Stoic wisdom urges us to take our time, enjoy the good things in life, and go about our days with respect and a sense of purpose. By practicing mindfulness, we live up to the Stoic ideal of living in harmony with nature, letting time flow naturally and using it to grow in virtue, knowledge, and happiness. The 9th lesson is about routines and how to make Stoic practices a part of daily life. Stoicism teaches that consistency in practice is important, not as a way to force people to follow rules, but as a way to gain more freedom and control over oneself. Epictetus, Seneca, and other Stoic thinkers stressed how important controlled habits are for forming our character and leading our actions. They recognized that by developing a regular habit of virtue, we teach ourselves to deal with life's difficulties with discernment, courage, and resilience. Routines that are well thought out can help you get through the days by giving you order and safety in a world that is often chaotic and unclear. We free our thoughts from the stress of making decisions by sticking to a set of routines and habits. This lets us focus on what really matters. This planned use of time and attention is a key part of Stoic life, which is in line with the philosophy's focus on reason and self-discipline. The Stoic practice is not a strict set of rules. Rather, it is a framework that can be changed to fit each person's wants and situations. It could include things like writing in a notebook, meditating, working out, or just taking time to think. All of these are meant to help you grow as a person and improve your health. We develop the mental and physical habits that allow us to live lives of virtue and meaning through the regular repeat of these routines. The Stoics put a lot of importance on routines because they believe they help us change the way we think about and use time. This story shows us that by making good habits and routines, we can make the most of our short time on earth and use it to reach our greatest goals and help other people. The daily routine of a Stoic is not an end in itself. It is a way to develop the good traits and values that make for a good life. By sticking to a routine, we make room for growth and self-discovery and make sure that every moment is spent on things that are in line with our values and goals. In this way, the Stoic practice gives us power and resilience, helping us handle the ups and downs of life with calmness and grace. As a warning, we may not always be able to change the things that happen around us, but we can always choose how to react to them. We use the power of time to shape our fate and reach our full potential by settling into the flow of daily practice. The 10th lesson is about the impact of time and Stoic thoughts on death and meaning. At the heart of Stoicism is a deep understanding of how quickly time passes and how inevitable death is. From Marcus Aurelius to Seneca, the Stoic thinkers thought about death and meaning, trying to figure out how we should live our lives knowing that they will end. They knew that our time on earth is limited and that each moment is a gift that should be treasured and used carefully. The Stoic view of time is not one of hopelessness, but of strength. It teaches us that we can live more fully and honestly and make the most of the time we have if we accept that we will die. In his letters, Seneca urged his readers to think about how short life is every day. He said, "You live as if you were destined to live forever. No thought of your frailty ever enters your head. Of how much time has already passed, you pay no heed." This reflection is not meant to instill fear or anxiety, but rather to make us aware of the importance of living with intention and purpose. When we face our own death, we are freed from the small worries and pointless distractions that take up so much of our time and attention. We are reminded of how short life is and how important it is to savor every moment. The Stoics knew that the real measure of a life is not how long it lasts, but how deep it goes, and that what matters most is not how many things we accomplish, but how good our character is. Stoicism tells us to value time because it makes us think about what we will leave behind and how we will affect people in the future. Knowing that what we do today affects the world tomorrow, it compels us to live with honor and virtue. We can find meaning and purpose in life's uncertainties if we take a Stoic view of time. We can do this by remembering that our time on earth, no matter how short, can encourage and teach those who come after us. Now, we'll talk about a deep truth that has stood the test of time, the power of silence. Not only should you hold your tongue, but you should also use silence as a way to gain knowledge, strength, and power. Learn the 7 powerful benefits of the art of silence with me as we go on an emotional trip that will change your life. In the world of Stoic philosophy, silence is more than just not speaking. It is a deep sign of wisdom. Like Seneca, the Stoics knew that silence is very important in how we talk to each other and make choices. It's like a mirror that shows how deep our character goes. We stop thinking and moving without thinking when we choose silence. Instead, we let our inner knowledge lead us. Silence has an amazing power to show what kind of person someone is, telling the difference between the wise and the foolish. These people are wise because they know when to be quiet, and their silence shows how smart they are. They know how to wait for the right time because they know that speaking without thinking can often lead to regret. In this balance, they show the world how wise they are. Stoic philosophy tells us that real knowledge is not having a lot of words, but choosing when to speak and when to be quiet with care. As we talk about the benefits of silence today, keep in mind the wise words of the Stoics, which say it is very important to know when to speak up and when to let the beauty of silence speak for itself. That's why I'm going to talk about 7 perks of silence in today's movie. Number 1. When you stay quiet, your opponent gets confused. Silence is not passive in the Stoic tradition. Rather, it is a smart move that can weaken your adversaries and help you win. It's the skill of waiting for the right time, like a chess player thinking about what to do next. Sun Tzu, an old military planner and philosopher, had a good grasp of this idea. He often used silence as a useful tool. Sun Tzu was a military planner and old Chinese philosopher. His strategic thought has deep ideas about how important silence is for winning. In The Art of War, Sun Tzu wrote about this idea. He wrote this book about more than just how to use troops well. It was mostly about psychology and tactics as well. Sun often said, "Don't tell your opponent what you plan to do. Let them guess and speculate." This is one of his most well-known pieces of advice because it creates uncertainty and unpredictability in your mind. Silence and mystery can also put a kind of psychological pressure on your opponent, leading him to wonder and speculate about your plans and actions. Sun Tzu also said that guarding your words not only keeps you from giving away your plans, but it also lets you listen and watch your opponent more closely. You can give the idea of confidence and smarts by being calm and patient. Sun Tzu gave examples of how to use silence to make your enemies doubt your choices and actions. Using this approach often meant making things unclear and hard to guess, so that the opponent had doubts. And it showed how powerful silence can be in war and planning. This helped him win many important combat battles. So, Sun Tzu not only had a deep understanding of Stoic philosophy, but he also knew how to use it to make good decisions in life and on the battlefield. In The Art of War, picture yourself on a battlefield where people are waiting for you to do something, but you don't say anything. You let the stress build. Your opponents start to get antsy in that silence. Their thoughts are muddled with doubt, which makes you wonder what your plans are. It teaches us Sun Tzu's advice while distracting us with silence. Because your silence makes your opponent feel nervous, he turns his attention from his goal to you and your plans. This old tactic, which comes from Stoic ideas, shows how powerful silence can be. It makes the point that sometimes not saying anything can get more done than anything we could say. As we talk about the benefits of silence today, keep in mind that it also has strategic value and can help you outsmart threats and challenges with skill and knowledge. Number 2. Get rid of things that are distracting you. Prepare ahead of time. There is a lot of noise, alerts, and chaos in the world all the time. But when there is silence, we can think, come up with plans, and figure out how to move forward. It was known to the smartest people in history that silence and focus were very important. These people made important choices with this power and had a lot of success. Innovation comes from having a calm mind. When you get rid of things that are distracting you, your mind can wander and find answers and links that you might not have seen in the noise. The quiet planner stays cool even when things are going crazy. They look at life as a great game and move with purpose. In a world full of information, silence helps us sort out the important from the unimportant. We can tell the difference between the noise and the signal when it's quiet. Being present is powerful for the quiet practitioner. When you put all of your attention on a job, you become more productive and creative. When you do speak, what you say matters. In the silence, they looked at everything, thought about all their choices, and made a clear choice. Silence doesn't mean doing nothing. It means acting with care and determination. It's the breath before the jump, or the pause before the big move. We find peace in the quiet of the outdoors. Let's learn again how powerful simplicity and silence can be. Get rid of all distractions, enjoy the power of silence, and plan ahead. At these points, you really take charge of your life. Gautama Buddha, who was also very wise, told us to be careful with the words we use. Before speaking, he told us to think about 3 important questions. Is it useful? Do you need it? Is it going to make things better? Using this technique to block out speech is the first step to developing inner silence and focus. They share a strong bond in Stoic philosophy. Thoughts that aren't important fade away in silence, and our focus gets stronger. Our thoughts become clearer in this silence, which lets us think deeply. A lot of people think that talking and thinking go hand in hand, but the Stoic lessons show that the deepest strength is being able to stay still and think before you speak. We can then use the power of true focus. Third, silence makes people pay attention. When you're with a group, silence can pull people together. People who choose silence stand out as a source of peace in a world that is often noisy. When there is silence in a room full of people talking, have you ever felt like you were really there? During this pause, everyone in the room is unwillingly drawn to the quiet person who is there. Imagine a classroom where the teacher is having a hard time keeping order because the students are talking non-stop the whole time. There is a scene where the professor's voice is hard to understand because it is competing with the background noise of people talking. When the teacher stops talking, even for a second, the students naturally look at the teacher and there is silence in the room. In this case, there are a lot of distractions in the classroom, which makes it harder to learn. While the teacher tries to give a relevant lesson, people are talking on the side, making the classroom a confusing place to learn. There is, however, a spark of hope. The brief silence that follows the teacher's pause shows that the students can recover if they are given the chance. It's a lesson that even the most disinterested students can be brought back into the learning world with good classroom management and interesting activities. This change in focus shows how powerful silence can be in the middle of noise. People pay more attention to silence, which makes it a strong tool for conversation and persuasion. As a reminder of the wisdom of Stoic philosophy, the acceptance of silence has a surprising power, the power to charm and charm others. It's not always about fancy words or actions to have charisma. It often starts with the quiet power inside. The person who just listens has a special charm. You don't just hear words, you also pick up on feelings and details that aren't said. Being kind can also pull people together. Being kind and willing to help can win hearts without being said. Being a great leader is more than just telling people what to do. They inspire others through their deeds and give them power. When they speak, they mean what they say and are sure of it. Use every word wisely. Being alone isn't what silence means. It means being present. People who sit back and watch are often the life of the party. There is no way to measure the power of a sincere smile, a kind word, or a calming touch. Being quiet is good for the brain. So keep in mind that you can charm people with confidence even in complete silence. It's obvious from your appearance and authenticity. Accept charm as a skill and see how it changes your life and the lives of those around you. Fourth, being quiet makes you stronger. Stoic philosophy tells us that many people are afraid of silence because they think it makes them feel alone or because they don't want to be approved of by other people. Because of this fear, they are always looking for attention and praise, which lowers their resolve in the long run. But the peace and quiet that come with times of silence can change you. It lets us show the world who we really are without the masks we wear. We find our inner power and understand that our worth is not based on what other people think or do during this period of introspection and silence. Stoicism pushes us to see silence as a mirror that shows us who we really are and that lets us stand tall without worrying about what other people think or do. The strength that comes from inside us is found in silence. Imagine that you are in high school and studying for a big test. You've been studying hard for months, and as the test date gets near, the stress level rises. A lot of your friends are always talking about how they study, sharing notes, and asking each other to confirm how ready they are. They are afraid of silence because it makes them feel alone and isolated. You, on the other hand, follow the Stoic philosophy of using stillness and silence to think about yourself and learn more about who you really are. Instead of always looking for approval from other people and comparing yourself to them, take some time to think about what you know and how you act. When there is silence, you can think about what you're really good at and understand that your worth doesn't rest on what other people think or do. You can stay focused and calm during tough times if you see your silence as a sign of your inner power and confidence. You believe in your own planning and find the strength to do your best, even though people are always talking about you and comparing you to others. So, Stoic philosophy has given you the chance to use the changing power of silence at a very important point in your academic career. Fifth, freedom from being proud or cocky. As you listen to the beauty of silence, you will gain the knowledge to take off your heavy armor of pride and ego. Real freedom doesn't come from saying we're great. It comes from seeing how similar we are. Being kind doesn't need praise. It's its own prize. The quiet giver enjoys helping people. Being able to accept when you're wrong is a strength, not a weakness. This is the way to really improve yourself. To understand humanity and togetherness, you have to walk the road of quiet shame, which isn't always easy. Being humble is another trait of people who carefully choose their words. They are satisfied with their authenticity rather than aiming for fame. Being humble doesn't make you weak. It makes you strong because you know your place in the big picture of life. Next, it's showing kindness, helping others, and caring about those who need it the most. Being humble enough to accept when you're wrong and smart enough to learn from your mistakes. Being humble helps you connect with people of all races, creeds, and social classes. So, let go of your pride and ego and accept the silence that speaks of humility. No. 6. Being quiet helps when you're negotiating. When it comes to Stoic philosophy, silence is a very useful tool for talks. It's a planned break that can lead to amazing results. At a crucial point in talks, the skill of silence becomes very useful. Picture yourself negotiating a salary. If you get an offer that doesn't meet your needs, don't answer right away. Instead, stop and be quiet. Say you work for a company and want to talk about your pay. You've looked into and compared the normal salary for your job and have a clear idea of how much you think it should be. Prepare yourself in your mind to talk to your boss about this salary. As you talk to the company about your pay, you may find that what they offer doesn't meet your needs. Instead of responding right away with arguments or reasons, take a moment to be quiet. There's a chance that you've chosen silence to keep from reacting too quickly and getting stressed during the discussion. Don't say anything. This will give you time to think about the offer and decide how to best react. It can also put pressure on the other side, especially if they aren't sure what your deal is. This could lead to them raising the pay or changing their original offer to better fit your needs. To sum up, stopping and staying quiet during a pay discussion can help you stay in charge and open the door to making changes and getting better results. Number 7. Respecting others with kindness and care. Kindness, the simple but powerful act of helping someone not because you have to, but because you want to, is what makes a society caring. Being kind is shown by the laughter that spreads through a group of friends, the calming embrace of a friend, and the listening ear of a friend who doesn't judge. It's the selflessness of nurses and other workers that heals more than just bodies. It's in the power of words of comfort and being there for someone when they're feeling weak. Schools are built on kindness, and teachers do more than just teach. They also spark students' interests and help them dream. Earth is home to many unknown heroes who take the time to care for it by picking up trash, planting trees, and fighting for a more healthy world. The courage of firefighters and first responders who put their lives on the line to save people, and our four-legged friends, is a shining example of kindness. There are millions of people in the worldwide movement for peace who raise their hands and their voices to say that kindness and humanity will always win over violence and hate. Giving something to someone who needs it, or information to someone who wants it, is an act of kindness. It means having faith that there is enough for everyone. To show kindness and care for others today, we encourage you to reach out and touch someone, smile, or say something nice. Mindfulness and kindness are traits of people who don't speak as much. They think carefully about what they say because they know it affects other people. Let's learn more about Jane, a young woman who lives in a busy city. She has been through a lot in her life, like losing her job and her family in a terrible car crash. It looked like everything in her life was going wrong. Jane never gave up hope, though. She started working at a community center where she met people who were also going through hard times and could relate to them. Jane was always willing to listen, share, and help when the chance came up. She gave others courage by letting them know they weren't alone and that someone was always there for them. Jane met a young guy named Michael one day. Michael had been having a hard time since he lost his job. Jane talked to him about her own story and how she beat adversity. They became close friends after she helped him and gave him advice. Michael not only got a new job, but also found that he was good at teaching and sharing what he knew because Jane helped him. He got a job teaching poor kids and spent all of his time helping people in the neighborhood. The story of Jane and Michael shows how to treat other people with kindness and respect. Jane showed kindness and love to others, and this made Michael's life better and the lives of those around her better as well. Through meaningful friendships and loved ones, their story makes the world a better and more meaningful place. According to Stoic philosophy, using the power of silence can have 7 very important benefits. Silence has been shown to be a transforming force in a variety of ways, including the creation of strategic confusion, the enhancement of focus, the development of self-confidence, and the strengthening of inner strength. In today's fast-paced and confusing world, it can be hard to maintain inner calm and unwavering confidence. When things out of our control throw us off balance, we may experience self-doubt, fear, and anxiety. There is an easy way to stay cool and sure of yourself in this movie. Stoic thinkers in Greece and Rome thought about and solved problems that are similar to those we face now. So they could stay grounded in times of chaos. They came up with a view and a set of useful tools. Cognitive behavioral therapy, which stresses how important it is to get rid of bad feelings and question false beliefs, has been shaped by Stoic ideas in a big way. Stoicism is a great place to start if you want to learn how to build resilience and confidence. In the next few parts, we will look at how great people like Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, and Epictetus kept their minds stable and kept their willpower strong. You'll find jobs that can help you disconnect from the outside world, get over your fears, deal with your urges, act properly, and keep your mind on what's important. The Stoics' confidence is meant to help people deal with problems in life with peace of mind, focus, and a sense of purpose. Those who are ready and pay attention are shown the way there. If you follow the basic ideas of Stoicism in your daily life, you can find peace even when things are going badly. This old way of seeing the world is still very important today, even though it comes from the past. It can give you more confidence to handle daily issues and reach your full potential. Are you ready to build a strong home that can handle the unexpected problems that life throws at you? Let's begin with Lesson 1, which is about the basics of having a Stoic mind. It was Epictetus who said that people's problems are not caused by things that happen, but by how they think about those things. Sometimes we think we know what will or won't happen to us. There can be pain and anger when things don't go as planned. Stoics have an attitude of not caring about things that happen that are out of their control. Putting this into practice means not getting too attached to wants for certain people, things, or events. You can strengthen your mental toughness by taking charge of how you think about the things that happen to you. You can change how you feel no matter what is going on around you. Being able to not care about anything can free you from needing other things to make you happy or satisfied. Life doesn't always go the way we hope and plan. Even the best laid plans can go wrong because of things that weren't planned for or because of what other people do. Stoics care more about how decent and good their actions are than about what might happen as a result. We can stay calm and make good choices if we don't let our pride get in the way. We can gain or lose things that are not ours in an instant, whether we win or lose. Even when things go wrong in life, Stoics try to keep a steady light inside. When you know that problems and rough times are going to happen, they don't seem unfair or strange. You change the way you think so that you can deal with problems in a simple and adaptable way. Many Stoics think that equilibrium is the best level of trust and knowledge. To reach it, you must focus on what you can control, accept what you can't change, and avoid getting too attached to things. With a clear and relaxed mind, being in the current moment is part of it. The three things that support the Stoic way of thinking are indifference, purpose, and peace. They show that we can't get confidence by trying to change the world around us. Instead, we need to be fair and skilled with our inner lives. How does this old recipe for mental health make you feel? The way we approach adversity can either stop us from going forward or give us a chance to become better people. To turn problems into chances, you need to think creatively, with hope, and with the idea of what could happen. The point of a military training camp is to push soldiers and get them ready for real battle. Marcus Aurelius and the Stoics saw challenges as opportunities to improve their mental resilience, creativity, courage, and leadership skills even in trying times. When you have a big job to do, try to see it as a chance to grow by learning something new. What will get better about your skills, self-control, or knowledge if you finish this goal? Even bad luck, illness, relationships that don't work out, or problems that you think you can't solve can teach you patience, how to handle your feelings, how to solve problems better, and how to ask for help. You can learn new things and get better at the ones you already know how to do with each job. If you have a problem that limits your options, it's simple to focus on the doors that are closed and feel useless. This can make you depressed. There are ways to deal with the effects of worry. One is to focus on the choices you can make right now. Any problems you face only limit what you can do outside of them, but you always have the choice of how you feel and what you want to do. When you look at a problem, think about the options you have. You might get what you want if you wait, be nice, try new things, or let go of things that don't help anymore. When you choose to respond in different ways, it can be very powerful and inspiring. If you choose to keep respect and happiness, even bad things can be used to your advantage. Behind every job, there is always the chance of something new and interesting. The rain can't reach the ground if there isn't anything hard there to stop it. Smart ditch systems that use gravity to water crops have been used by farmers for a long time. They saw that the things that sometimes keep rain from getting to the crops could be moved around, so the rain would fall on the fields instead. In the same way, every job we face in life hides a chance to use our choices and potentials that we haven't used yet. We can find ways to grow through problems if we keep an open mind, think outside the box, and put in the work. If you want to turn problems into chances, you must first change the way you see your problems and mistakes. Problems are only things that hold us back when we think they are. Which one of the Stoic ways to see problems as chances speaks to you or makes you think? How to deal with tough people and events is the second lesson. You won't feel hurt if you choose not to be hurt. Do not hurt yourself. It's easy to lose your peace of mind when bad things happen to you and people are mean to you. Sometimes we are caught off guard by fights with family, friends, co-workers, or strangers, which can make us feel angry, hopeless, or resentful. Stoicism is an old philosophy that can help you stay calm inside and deal with problems with other people in a good way. We get upset or angry about things most of the time because of our own ideas about what is wrong, not because of other people. Epictetus said that people are upset about things not their own, but because of how they think about them. One important first step is to pay attention to and take charge of your inner dialogue about the tough person or situation. When you start to feel angry or good about yourself, try to talk yourself back to being reasonable. Always remember that you decide how much someone can hurt you. People who are tough to deal with often act in bad ways because they are in pain or angry inside and can't control it. Being able to understand and feel the pain that someone else's stupidity causes can help us keep our cool while still holding them responsible for what they did. A cheerful attitude is important to deal with the problem. How would you act if you knew about their problems? People who are acting out can keep their peace and choose not to hurt you. If you understand and connect to them, you can respond in ways that make them feel better and help everyone figure out what kind of behavior you expect and what will happen if someone doesn't stop being rude. Don't use threats or acts of violence to make your bounds clear. When rules are broken, it's important to be strict, but it's also important to let people know you can forgive them if you change your mind later. Making clear rules can help keep fights from happening and make it easier for relationships to grow and get better. We can pick how to handle tough situations that are out of our hands. For the Stoics, there is a clear line between what they can control and what they can't. Think about what you can do to make things better instead of what's going on. For example, you could help other people or look for answers before you give up or give in to your sadness or anger. Don't be afraid to try anything. When we take action, we're often better prepared for weather events we can't control or that we don't know much about. Keeping a healthy attitude and making smart decisions all the time are important skills for learning how to deal with tough people and situations. How can a Stoic person stay cool when things get tough? There are a lot of things that can cause anxiety in people. Not knowing what will happen, worrying about how other people will see them, dwelling on problems they can't change, and worrying about the future. Stoicism is an old philosophy that gives us useful ways to manage our anxiety and find inner peace. By practicing training our thoughts, wants, and attention, we can build a strong inner haven that keeps us safe from strong feelings and thoughts. External events can occasionally cause anxiety in us because they make us deal with doubt or threaten our sense of safety. Stoics focus on their knowledge, resilience, attitude, and what they can do to feel less anxiety when they consider what they can change right now. Even if you don't know what will happen, you can decide how well you can deal with problems. Giving up your false need to control other people or things gives you the power to make smart choices. Think about the possibility of losing your job often. This will help you value the comfort of having it now. Before they happen, knowing about possible problems can help you get ready for them and give you more confidence in your ability to handle them. When you think negatively and plan positively, you can be more sure that you can handle any problems that come up. If things go badly, this way will help you keep your mind on the things you can change. Stop and ask yourself why you are thinking this way if you notice that your mind is making things worse than they really are or taking broad conclusions from a single bad experience. Don't believe the bad things your thoughts are leading you to. Instead, remind yourself of the facts. Focus on the things you can control instead of feeling hopeless about things you can't change. You can feel worried when you think about the things you wish you had done differently or when you don't know what will happen in the future. The Stoics taught us how important it is to focus on the here and now. By fully immersing yourself in the here and now, you can worry less about things that aren't clear or out of your control. Being okay with what's going on in your life can make it better and calm you down. Being aware of the present moment can help you make better choices and enjoy life more. Every moment gives you the chance to become wiser by handling life's problems well. By training their minds in Stoic ways, people can greatly lower their anxiety. These methods help fix a need for control that is too strong, fix skewed thinking, and get people to focus on what's important. In terms of successful action to build resilience against anxiety, which Stoic strategies appeal to you the most? Lesson 3. Getting Stoic resilience, also known as mental toughness. Stoics don't think life will be easy. Instead, they work on improving their minds all the time so they can handle problems in a calm and adaptable way. By making changes to our daily habits and the way we think, we can build a strong sense of drive and resilience. Having strong emotional resilience means staying positive even when things go wrong. The Stoics saw problems that couldn't be avoided as opportunities for growth, which strengthened their mental and emotional resilience. You feel more confident when you face problems and use the damage they cause to make you better. Learning to see problems as chances to improve oneself is crucial for developing resilience. Overthinking what might happen in the future or dwelling on mistakes made in the past can cause feelings of anxiety and a lack of ability to move. The Stoics say that you should live in the present and put your energy into doing good things that you can manage. Not fighting or dodging problems is better than going with the flow and making the most of the choices you still have. Making decisions about what to do gives us the power to keep going. Choosing to feel light pain every once in a while is a great way to build resilience. It's good for the mind and body to train in bad weather so they can do well in it. Some things that can help you become more open and trust yourself are going camping without your usual stuff, fasting sometimes, or taking cold showers. These things will help you do well even when things get tough. You develop resilience and adaptability when you leave your comfort zone, which are crucial when things get tough. Pushing yourself to your limits is a great way to increase your resilience in daily life. Many people think that resilience means either being able to quickly and completely control your feelings or being able to quickly and completely return to happiness no matter what. On the other hand, Stoics know that being upset can make you more adaptable. Sadness, anger, or anxiety are normal and healthy emotions to feel when you've lost someone or been hurt. That doesn't mean you're not strong, though. A key skill for building resilience and getting useful insights is being able to patiently push through pain and discomfort. Cracks can appear in things that are under enough stress. One way to learn to enjoy the people and things in your life right now is to realize that they won't always be there. You shouldn't be surprised that everyday things can break. Instead, you should enjoy how flimsy things made from sticks and clay are. When we remember that the things we love will be taken away, we can learn to be grateful for what we have now. In Stoicism, negative vision is the act of picturing over and over again the loss of what is most important to you. Think about how awful it would be if your house caught fire or a close friend died suddenly. This is very important, even though it looks dark. It helps us see possible outcomes as choices instead of surprises we didn't expect. Loss practice helps us remember how short-lived people and things are, so we don't take them for granted. Before you start eating, try to picture the food in a bad way. Think about it for a moment before you take your first bite. We enjoy having a lot of healthy food even more because we know that many other people are not as lucky. We miss the beauty and comforts around us a lot when our lives are too busy. When you let go of negative thoughts, it's easy for happy and grateful feelings to come to the surface. Imagine that you are thinking about your family and friends and picturing them going far away or passing away all of a sudden. We deeply understand how important our loved ones are right now without having to go through a real loss. Clear vision is aided by Stoic negative vision. Regularly letting go can help us deal with our sense of entitlement in our relationships and health. You can't promise anything when it comes to things you can't fully control. When you act on your negative view, it can work really well. Since you know that nothing lasts forever, it's important to enjoy and respect what you have. Use resources less, show love, thank people who have helped you, and give your time or money to people who need it. You'll probably lose things. Being present in the present moment and understanding that everything changes and that death can happen at any time are some of the things that can help you fully accept and enjoy every moment. No matter how much you want to pay, all you have to do is think negatively and act mindfully. You can enjoy the short beauty of life if you can accept that it is uncertain. Where are you in the big picture? That's what Stoic Physics Lesson 4 is all about. Astronomy and science today have found things that are like what the Stoics knew a long time ago. They knew that people are a very small part of a very big world that changes in huge, self-organizing ways over very long periods of time that have nothing to do with us. You can look for the meaning of life without having to worry about spiritual things if you believe this is the right way to see things. Marcus Aurelius talked about the idea of looking at all of life from a single, clear point of view in order to understand people better. Our everyday problems can seem less important when we think about how big the world is, how short our lives are, and how things are always being made and broken. In the grand scheme of things, it doesn't matter what you do or how well you do it, what other people think, big public problems, or money wins or losses. Things only mean what we think they mean. By seeing the bigger picture, we can let go of any false beliefs about our own worth. In this world, you shouldn't think too much about how atoms communicate with each other. Just remember to be kind in your short job. Thinking about our place in the world and the reason that shows up everywhere can help us deal with the stress of trying to fit in or make a change that lasts. No one gets in the way of the holy dance. It just happens. It's important to keep things in balance because unbelievable big things rely on unbelievable small things. While you take care of your yard, don't try to change how the plants grow. The pieces will be put back together so they can be used again. Nothing and no one lasts forever because the end is near. Now is a great time to start an exciting journey of new experiences, both big and small, before returning to the circle of creation in the night sky. Where can a good cause take you? If you set high standards for yourself, you might be tough on yourself, feel stuck, and give up when things don't go as planned. When people talk about their skills and successes, Marcus Aurelius said they should be humble. He also said it was important to be happy with even small wins. Being kind and patient with ourselves and setting goals that aren't too rigid will help us deal with anger, keep our drive at a healthy level, and make steady progress. Don't expect perfect results right away. Instead, focus on the small wins and steps toward growth that show you're on the right track. When you reach important goals, enjoy the rush, but don't beat yourself up about what's left to do. Allow time for changes, breaks, and getting back on track. As long as you don't work too hard, wait too long, or focus too much on the end result, growth will happen on its own. Value the results of your work for what they are worth, instead of just seeing them as proof that you put in time and effort. Some goods don't show up right away, so don't give up when things don't go as planned just because you can't wait any longer. When you don't worry about fame or money and stay calm and true to yourself, it's easy to make progress. Don't be too hard on yourself for where you are. Instead of always trying to reach your goals, just take the next step that feels right. You need to understand how important it is to stay present if you want to grow as a person. Don't try to be perfect in order to move forward. Just accept the process. The fifth lesson is to face your fears and accept your pain. We can feel weaker and want to run away even more if we always try to avoid things that make us feel scared or look for the most comfort. Stoics calm themselves down when they feel stressed by seeing problems as chances to learn instead of thinking that everything is always easy. The words of Epictetus can teach us not to worry about things that scare us or are too much for us. Most of the time, What makes people afraid hurts more than what makes them afraid. Anxiety and a lack of drive can make it harder to deal with problems and take control of life. When we have problems in life, we can get stronger. We can face our fears in a smart way and get out of our comfort zones more often, though. First, think about things you tend to avoid because you are afraid of them. Should you stay away from these problems instead of meeting them calmly and with confidence? Can you grow by meeting them straight on? Now let's look at places where pain is too much for people to handle. When it's cold, do you have greater resilience? Would you rather give up some comforts or explore ideas that make you think about things that are different from your own point of view? Your first contact should be short, and you should work your way up to longer ones. Also, it's important to be kind to yourself when you're dealing with deep-seated fears or discomforts. Please don't punish yourself for wanting things to get better quickly. Look at the situation again and again to find chances. You might want to ask yourself if the problems you're trying to solve are really helping you grow, or if they're just making you feel bad. Being brave is not the same as putting yourself in danger for no reason. Do not avoid pain at all costs, but do not be too hard on yourself either. You can consistently make progress if you work at it and wait for your fears and automatic avoidance to go away as you face them. Enjoy each small win as it comes up. It is simpler to take bigger steps forward when you introduce yourself to jobs that you can handle over time. In the end, facing your inner enemies will free you. Some of the first people to talk about virtue ethics were Socrates and Plato. The Stoics, on the other hand, made living a good life an art. People are encouraged to regularly check their thoughts and deeds to see if they are consistent with virtues like justice, courage, balance, and practical knowledge. The only thing that is good is having core values. They will keep you safe and help you not hurt other people or yourself. Stoicism tries to help people keep their feelings in check and make better decisions. It helps a lot to look at yourself every day and think about the recent events that made you feel bad or behave in a strange way. Be more honest, kind, or in control of yourself. Not blaming yourself for mistakes that everyone makes is the goal. Instead, you should take responsibility for choosing right, even when things are hard. If you want to keep getting better after something goes wrong, you need to be patient. It's important to keep your character first when you're trying to get outside praise and accomplishments. The ability to keep your peace even when things go wrong is a sign of success, but practicing regularly is needed to stay stable in bad weather. You can handle the difficulties of life when things are going well, which creates a solid foundation of virtue, knowledge, and resilience. What can you do today to protect your friend? Sixth lesson: how to get along with people right away. A lot of people say that the first impression you give is very important and can't be changed. This isn't always true. In the first few seconds of meeting someone new, you can tell a lot about them that will help you connect with them. People quickly decide what to think about someone based on how trustworthy, skilled, and nice they seem. How people see you can change a lot if you know how important first impressions are. Before you even say your first word, you can start to make a real difference that will last. Body language, facial expressions, cleaning, and clothes can all make someone seem friendly without having to talk to them directly. When you talk to someone, remember to smile and make eye contact. How you act will show that you're looking forward to a fun conversation. Get ready to talk by asking the other person some open-ended questions. What you say and ask next is very important. When it's acceptable, talk about yourself in a way that doesn't take over the conversation. Francis Bacon, an English philosopher, said that someone who is always trying to make their point is worse than someone who listens well and encourages others to talk. To be kind and open-minded, you have to really care about other people. Get some real compliments that you can really give about good qualities. You shouldn't have to stick to a plan. Instead, you should be able to read and react to what the talk needs at that moment. To make a good first impression, pay close attention to what people say and do, and respond to how excited they are about things that are important to you. Even if you don't agree with someone, showing that you understand and value their point of view can help you connect with them in a good way. To successfully express your real ideas, use words that show the qualities you want to inspire courage. Almost never do people get along well when they meet for the first time. Don't worry about your jitters or small flubs. Stay calm and quickly get your confidence back by being humble and funny. To make a good first impression, you should work on both your speech and your self-confidence. Don't think too much about what worries or excites you about meetings. Being aware of and accepting your own worth will help you connect with real people. Stoic thinkers believed that telling the truth, keeping control of one's inner turmoil, and lowering inner turmoil for both oneself and others were very important. The Stoics think that making boundaries and stating ideas means respectfully listening to different points of view all the time. When you communicate well, you support kindness, clarity, and understanding of everyone's needs, which makes things less tense. Use brain space to keep from getting too excited about a subject before having a tough conversation. Always remember that people make mistakes because they are hurt or confused, not because they don't know what they're doing. Being mindful can help you stay calm when you feel angry. Ask other people to share their thoughts and encourage people to say what they think. Let the differences and things you have in common come up when you talk about bad habits. Instead of accusatory wording, it's better to use words that make sense. Don't put the blame on other people for how you feel. In order to keep things cool, ask the other person how they think the problem could be fixed by getting people to talk about it and work together to find a solution. There are ways out that are good for everyone and keep their name safe. You should be grown enough to know the limits of your influence. If other people don't change their minds, no matter how hard you try, be honest with yourself about your limits without being mean or scary. Get rid of bad habits if you care about your health. We're ready to make peace again, but only if it's clear that people have changed their ways for the better. Usually differences can be fixed and bring us together if we deal with them honestly, with kindness, and with common sense. The Stoics saw disagreements as good chances to live out their beliefs. Lining up words with knowledge is a big part of good communication, which can have a big impact on trust and relationships. What kinds of life problems can be solved better by following the strong Stoic rules? 7th lesson. Don't try to make everyone happy. When someone wants other people to like them too much, they give up what they really want because they don't feel like they are respected for who they are. In a strange way, this makes me angry and upset. The Stoic answer says it is very important to put your own values ahead of social rules. Start by gradually becoming aware of when and what kind of actions result from wanting praise. Because people don't want to be judged by their friends, they change the way they talk and act. How much do you change what you want to meet the goals of powerful people or people you want to please? Unconscious habits that helped you get through hard times tend to stick around, which makes you more empathetic. Be honest about your real goals and find real worth in what you're doing. This will make your actions easy. You should do things that you can enjoy by yourself without anyone else. Do something that makes you happy that you might have forgotten about while you were trying to please other people. As this inner character grows, the need for praise becomes less important. You should give to others out of joy, not because you expect something in return or think you earn it. In order to stop being abused, You need to learn how to say what you think and set boundaries. Any feedback should be seen as a chance to talk about yourself in a reasonable way for your own good. It's okay if some people don't care about or respect you. Don't be afraid to stand up for what you believe in. Even people who value their freedom can be happy if they speak and act in the right way. The choice to lean on each other out of care instead of weakness is easy and clear. Bring out your inner fire to help everyone in a group feel like they belong and are working toward the same goals. Get rid of the need for praise by being happy with yourself. It's interesting that real freedom gets respect on its own without you having to do anything. To break free from chains of submission, you need to trust yourself. You can always cut yourself off from people when they ask for more than you can give. How can you start to face your wants with courage? People with imposter syndrome constantly feel inadequate and incompetent, believing that their success is due to luck rather than their own worth. This happens even when there is proof of their skills. A lot of high scorers deal with false ideas all the time. They also don't want to be seen as interesting. This happens a lot because people adopt high standards from early situations that showed approval based on conditions. The Stoics say that when you feel like you're not good enough, you should notice your bad thoughts and tell them you don't agree with them. For someone to be great, do they have to be the best or know everything? It's possible for several teachers to back up someone who isn't good at what they do. Always remember that the people watching you probably think better of your skills than you do. The opinions and things you did well are helpful to look back on when you start to question yourself. Just don't worry so much about exact results, though. You will always know less than you need to know and make slow progress when you're trying to meet hard goals. If you make mistakes, it doesn't mean you'll always fail or that there's something seriously wrong with you. Don't worry too much about getting approval as long as you change how you do things in a smart way. Pay attention to the process. Accept the next results that come your way and be proud of what you've done. Being aware of how flawed all people are can help you let go of your pride. People you look up to also have fears and learn new things over time. Everyone isn't great at everything. You can handle things better when they don't scare you. Tell yourself that it's okay to stay the way you are. When you feel like a fake, you can find some facts. Nobody has complete confidence in everything they do or is always an expert at something. On the other hand, negative self-judgment and social comparison keep us from getting better because they make us always question our abilities. If you let go of the need to prove your worth, you can focus on doing things that are unique to you. You might feel scared sometimes, but that shouldn't stop you from doing important things. Things that are important stay where they are when you share your gifts. The Stoics believed that developing knowledge and resilience would help prevent tragedies before they occurred, which is why they say that teaching mental first aid is like giving drugs. Everyone has bad, stressful times every once in a while, no matter how well they deal with life's problems. Stoicism offers effective ways to deal with stress quickly, like giving first aid until balance is restored. First, pay attention to and name your feelings without judging them or trying to push them down. Keep an eye on the thoughts and feelings that make hard emotions even worse. When you feel inner states that you normally avoid, don't fight them. Instead, be kind, interested, and caring. Understand that the pain will end and plan how to live with it instead of fighting it. One way to stop the fight or flight reaction and wake up the parasympathetic nervous system is to focus on long exhales while you breathe slowly. Say positive affirmations to help yourself feel better, like, "This feeling is upsetting but not harmful, and I have the tools to deal with it." Splashing cold water on your face immediately affects the vagus nerve, which restarts your body after the strong experience. Think about the ways you think that might be affecting your view in a bad way more. Take some time to think about whether this statement is completely true and fits the case. To make cognitive confusion less confusing, look into other possible reasons for what's happening or what you don't understand. Some people may have hurt you by mistake, but you should forgive yourself and them. Think about the chance of making peace if you need to make changes. Last but not least, think about what you can change. Learn more about what makes you angry, set useful limits, and say what you want in a quiet voice. Either accepting yourself or facing your problems head-on will make you feel stronger. The emotional resilience skill taught in this first aid method can teach people how to handle life better and keep them from having another emotional breakdown. When you want to go from being tense to being calm, what works best? There's more to life than praise. You need to find your own sense of worth and meaning. It's easier to deal with feedback or not making standards when we really like and believe in our own work. Think about how important it is for your safety or self-esteem to get praise, and when and from whom you might need it. Why do a lot of people fall into the trap of always wanting acceptance and praise, which can lead to actions like trying to please everyone, being too perfect, and getting angry or sad when they are criticized or not appreciated? When extra support is used, what parts don't feel full? It's possible to put too much weight on a spiritual blank or an early lack that doesn't go away. When you connect with your true self more, you won't need other people's support as much. It's possible to learn about your hobbies, skills, and interests without having to use outside products or watch demos. Your self-confidence will grow on its own if you accept and love how beautifully broken you are. Giving up the need to be perfect can help you calm down when you have to take steps that put machine output ahead of your own growth. Feedback and giving someone duty are better ways to help them grow than just judging their worth or how amazing they are. Put yourself in groups that want to work together and have important goals, but don't let the opinions of people who don't share your goals or desire to reach your dreams bother you too much. You were whole when you were born. Only hearing what other people like can help you figure out how well your work fits those tastes. This doesn't mean it says everything about who you are or how valuable you are. You are in charge of the most important parts of who you are and what light is here to do. What are you going to do to put your inner wealth ahead of your wish for money? The trip inside is full of the best things in life. One last thing to remember: the Stoic had faith in his great knowledge to control life. The ideas below have been around for a long time and have been shown to help people find peace and confidence within themselves. Epictetus, who was a slave, and Nelson Mandela, who saw terrible wrongs, are great examples of these ideas. I hope that getting some peace and understanding helps you get through the tough times. It's important to remember that even when things are hard, you can turn your thoughts and actions into wise ones. Building strong character, which is essential for long-term success, provides a solid foundation that cannot be easily rocked in the face of adversity when the night gets dark and the atmosphere becomes dangerous. Have faith in your ideals and inner power. They will help you get through the hard times. There are a lot of people who have or are dealing with issues with their self-image and doubt. But what if I told you that ancient Stoic philosophy might have basic ideas that could help you boost your sense of self, boost your confidence, and make it easier to ignore the bad things going on in the world? I'm going to show you that Stoicism does have things that can do this in a few minutes. I'll also talk about how we can use these timeless principles to change how we see ourselves and the world around us. Now is the time to look at some of the reasons why people have low self-esteem. We will also talk about some Stoic methods that can help us improve ourselves. We'll also give you specific instructions on how to put these ideas into practice in your daily life so that you can develop greater resilience to the stresses of the outside world, inner peace, and a strong sense of self-worth by getting closer to that ideal version of yourself. Understanding the roots of low self-esteem is part 1. Here, we'll talk about some of the most common ones. Not every reason will be on this list. Instead, it will be made up of popular ones that most of us have seen before, and we'll look at each one separately. To begin, we'll talk about 3 unhealthy needs: wanting other people to like you too much, feeling bad about things you did in the past, and being aware of the gap between who you want to be and where you are now, along with the confusing feelings of guilt and self-criticism that can come from that. If we look at the unhealthy need for acceptance of others, this need for approval and support from the people around us is normal. In fact, getting feedback from other people is part of being a useful group member. But it can go too far. This has become even worse in recent years with the rise of social media and the need for people to like, share, and comment on posts. When we depend too much on what other people think, it can make us feel bad about our own self-worth when we don't get it. This is because we've let outside approval of our self-image become too important, instead of a good balance of self-approval and feedback from others. Stoic philosophy tells us that we can't change the way other people think or feel, and that putting our trust in them for our well-being is like putting our trust in something we can't change. In the end, this means that we are open to regret, anger, and doubt, because it makes it weak and insecure. Epictetus, a famous Stoic philosopher, taught us that the key to a happy and fulfilling life is to know what we can control and what we can't. He also said that focusing our energy and attention on what we can control, our thoughts, actions, and reactions, makes our mental health much more resistant to changes in our circumstances. He stated, "The chief task in life is simply this: to identify and separate matters so that I can say clearly to myself which are externals not under my control and which have to do with the choices I actually control. Where then do I look for good and evil? Not to uncontrollable externals, but within myself, to the choices that are my own." For those who feel deeply ashamed or regretful about things they did or said in the past, a low sense of self can come from these feelings. You can feel that gut-wrenching response when you do something that goes against who you are, who you want to be, and your beliefs. The Stoics teach us that thinking about the past can be useless since we can't change what happened. We should instead focus on what we can learn from our mistakes and how they can help us make better decisions now and in the future. We accept what we've done, take responsibility for the results of our actions, and then move on with the goal of changing our behavior in a way that makes us happy. Along this road, it's important to remember that we're only human and that we all make mistakes. But it's much better to accept ourselves as work in progress and move on than to focus on the mistake and beat ourselves up. Next, we've been feeling the difference between our dream self and the person we are now. Another thing that can make us feel bad about our self-image is being aware of the gap between where we are and where we want to be. It's normal to feel impatient, angry, or even guilty when we think about where we want to be and where we are now. We should, however, have the courage to acknowledge the gap and use it to find a way to grow and move forward on our own personal growth journey. We shouldn't beat ourselves up for not having met that goal yet, though. It would be like getting in our car to drive across the country and being mad at ourselves after a few minutes because we still haven't arrived. It takes time for some things. When we set reasonable goals and work towards them, we not only feel good about getting closer to the person we want to be, but we also show ourselves that we can stay on track, become more disciplined, and slowly get rid of bad habits. Our feeling of self-worth will grow as we close this gap. Now we'll talk about Stoic ways to improve our self-image in Part 2. Stoic thoughts. We will talk about what the Stoics actually do and what we can use every day to help us deal with problems with how we see ourselves. Once more, to keep things simple, this will be split into 3 sections. Emptying ourselves of things we can't change is the first thing we'll talk about. Epictetus, a Stoic philosopher, will help us with this. The second part will be about learning to be independent of outside approval. To do this, we will look to Marcus Aurelius, the Stoic philosopher and Roman ruler. Third, we'll look at how the Stoics act in line with virtues like justice, modesty, knowledge, and courage. Seneca, a Roman politician and old historian, will be our guide for this part. And so, Epictetus, the slave-turned-Stoic philosopher, taught that we should focus on what we can control and let go of what we can't. He spent a lot of time talking about how important it is to accept what we can't change. Stoicism's most important idea is the key to building a strong and durable inner peace. A peace that isn't affected by changes in our situations because it comes from within and isn't dependent on outside factors. Realizing that our ideas, actions, and responses are the only things we can directly change in our lives is important for fully understanding and using this idea. Things that happen outside of our power include other people's thoughts, the business, traffic, the stock market, and even the results of our actions. Focusing our energy and attention on what we can change can help us feel more grounded and stable in our sense of self. For instance, picture getting comments or criticism from someone. We can't change their mind or the way they give us feedback, but we can change how we react to it. We can choose not to let this feedback hurt our self-esteem. Instead, we can see it as a chance to grow and get better. We can also decide that the opinion isn't honest and just ignore it. Finally, there is always a better way to move forward than letting the things going on around us make us sad, angry, annoyed, or frustrated. Epictetus once stated, "If anyone tells you that a certain person speaks ill of you, do not make excuses about what is said of you, but answer, 'He was ignorant of my other faults, else he would not have mentioned these alone.'" In the same way, when we face problems or failures, we can choose to think about how we handled them instead of focusing on the problems themselves. In the end, Epictetus's lessons help us recognize that we have the power to change our thoughts, actions, and responses. This Stoic way of thinking helps us keep our inner peace, resilience, and sense of self-worth, no matter what challenges and unknowns life throws at us. He also stated, "Seek not the good in external things, seek it in yourselves." Focusing on becoming independent from outside approval is the second Stoic rule. Because we can see so many different people's thoughts on the internet and social media, this is possibly even more important now than it was back then. Meditations is the name of a book written by the Stoic emperor Marcus Aurelius. It was a secret record he kept to write down his thoughts. Aurelius's writings show that he knew how important it was to build a strong sense of self-worth that wasn't based on approval from other people. Marcus Aurelius says that you should act in a way that you think is right, not in a way that other people want you to act. He wrote, "If any man despises me, that is his problem. My only concern is not doing or saying anything deserving of contempt." He also thinks about how fame, fortune, and other people's opinions change over time, telling us to find approval within ourselves instead of relying on the world around us. He wrote about fame. Consider the lives led once by others long ago, the lives to be led by others after you, and the lives being led even now in foreign lands. How many people don't even know your name? How many will soon have forgotten it? How many of you praise now and tomorrow, perhaps contempt? That to be remembered is worthless, like fame, like everything. This was the leader of the Roman Empire saying that fame isn't worth anything. A strong sense of self-awareness and self-understanding is necessary to become independent from external validation. If we don't know who we are and how our need for fame and approval affects us, it will be hard to disconnect from those things. The first step in this process is to think about our own values, beliefs, skills, and achievements. When we understand our own worth and the things that make us unique, we can start to value ourselves and what we bring to the world, no matter what other people say about us. Marcus Aurelius also stresses how important it is to live by our own inner values and beliefs instead of simply trying to fit in with what other people or society expects of us. When we act in a way that is in line with our own values, beliefs and principles, we can feel a strong sense of self-respect and ethics, knowing that other people's opinions or the need for support won't be able to easily change us. This brings us to the third part, behaving in line with virtue. Another important Stoic thinker, Seneca, said that being good is the only way to be truly happy and satisfied. The Stoics said that there were four most important virtues: justice, modesty, knowledge, and courage. Their argument was that we should include these values in our daily lives. They said that if we show virtue in our deeds, thoughts, and beliefs, we will be well on our way to living a good life. To be wise, you need to seek information, act logically, understand the world around you, and improve your reasoning while you learn new things. We get closer to this most important virtue when we make smart choices and look at the world as it really is, not how we wish it were. Courage is the ability to face difficulties, adversity, and fear with drive and resolve, despite peer pressure to do otherwise. When we show courage, we show that we have strong morals, are loyal to our beliefs, and have faith in our own abilities. Temperance is a virtue that stands for balance, self-control, and self-discipline. We feel more in control of our thoughts, actions, and feelings when we learn to control them. This makes us feel better about our own self-esteem. Fairness, equality, and moral rightness are all parts of justice. We can build a strong moral sense by being fair to ourselves and to others. A lot of the Stoics thought that these things were the best ways to be good, and that they could help us become strong and brave. Seneca wrote, "For what prevents us from saying that the happy life is to have a mind that is free, lofty, fearless, and steadfast, a mind that is placed beyond the reach of fear, beyond the reach of desire, that counts virtue the only good, baseness the only evil, and all else but a worthless mass of things which come and go without increasing or diminishing the highest good, and neither subtract any part from the happy life nor add any part to it. A man thus grounded, whether he wills or not, necessarily be attended by constant cheerfulness and a joy that is deep and issues from deep within, since he finds delight in his own resources and desires no joys greater than his inner joys." It is not easy to show these traits in all parts of your life all the time. Seneca was even self-aware enough to be aware of his own limits. "I know I'm not living the life I preach, but I'm trying," he wrote in one of his conversations. And that's all we can do. Finally, we come to part 3, using what you've learned in real life. We can learn to close the gap between who we are and who we want to be by putting these ideas to use in our daily lives. Again, to keep things simple, I've broken this up into 3 steps. First, how do we set clear goals and describe our ideal self? Second, how to figure out which habits to start or stop in order to close the gap. And finally, how to plan our daily lives to use these tools. So, how do we make clear goals and figure out who our ideal self is? Usually the first step in making something new is to think about and understand where we want to be. When we define and picture the person we want to be and how we want to act, we make a strong compass that can help us make choices, act, and think. Seneca said, "If a man does not know which port he sails, no wind is favorable." This means that if we try to move forward without a clear goal, we can't tell if the way we're going is good or bad. We'll need to spend some time thinking about ourselves and learning more about ourselves in order to describe this form of himself or herself. We need to think about our core values, our skills, and our goals. We should also think about how the Stoic ideals of knowledge, courage, temperance, and justice fit in with these things, and how we can use them in our daily lives. Next, we can picture how the person we want to become would act in various parts of our lives, like our health, our relationships, our jobs, our personal growth, and our overall happiness. When you visualize, make sure to be clear and particular. For instance, how would the best version of you handle a fight with your partner? You will be better able to set goals and decide what to do if you make this clear. Meditation is what I think is the best way to do this. Finding a place that is quiet and sitting there to work on this for a while. There are people who like to write and people who like to take voice notes. You should just try different things and see what works for you. Once you fully comprehend the above, you can turn this vision into clear, measured, attainable, and pertinent goals. Specific, measured, doable, reasonable, and time-oriented, SMART, is a term used in business that pretty much sums this up. For those of you who are like me, this office language can give you the creeps. But in this case, it does have some value. One goal you could set for yourself in the next 3 months is to start meditating every day. This could help you become more disciplined and less distracted. As we work toward these goals, we gradually take on the qualities, beliefs, and ideals that let us live a full and meaningful life. How do we find habits to start or stop that will help close the gap? Now that you have a clear picture of your ideal self and clear goals, it's time to look at your current habits and actions to see which ones help you and which ones get in the way of your progress. Figuring out which habits you should keep and which ones you should change will help you change your life so that it fits with who you want to be. Making a list of your current habits and labeling them as either helpful or harmful to your goals of becoming the person you want to be is a good place to start. The hardest part of this process is being honest with yourself, because we'll usually want to make up stories that justify doing things we know deep down we should stop. For every bad habit, think of a good habit that will help you reach your goals. For instance, if you find that spending too much time in front of a screen is making it harder for you to be aware and concentrate, you could replace this habit with daily meditation or writing. To get closer to our ideal self, we also need to figure out what habits we need to keep or change. Some examples of these habits are working out regularly, eating better, having important hobbies, or setting aside time to learn through reading, going to school, or classes. Having a clear picture of how these habits will fit into your daily life will help you stick to them much more effectively. Once you know which habits you need to break, put them in order of how important they are to your life and your ability to reach your goals. Focusing on just 1 or 2 habits at a time works better for me because it keeps me from getting too stressed out and makes it more likely that I'll stick with them. Also, it's important to remember that starting something can be hard sometimes. We pick the smallest step forward that we can and then build on it over time. On these occasions, we might not be motivated, we may not have developed the discipline that we need, and the activities that keep us where we are too strong. To do this, pick the smallest move you can and build on it. This could mean bringing a plate or glass from your room to the kitchen. It could be reading a book instead of playing video games. It could be that Instagram is being removed. Instead, you could join a cheap gym and go once a week. We can always start small and work our way up, no matter what. There is nothing better than taking motivation from the words of a great leader like Marcus Aurelius when it comes to developing one's self-confidence. As Emperor of Rome, he not only played a key role in government, but he also found time to think deeply and write down his thoughts in a collection of personal writings that are now known as meditations. These writings not only give us a unique look into the mind of a leader, but they have also become one of the most important philosophical works in history. In this way, learning from Marcus Aurelius can be very helpful in today's world, where self-confidence is very important for both personal and professional success. We can build and increase our confidence in ourselves by using what he taught us. These lessons can be applied to everyday life and offer useful tips for people who want to boost their confidence in their skills and ability to make choices on the tough path to self-confidence. Taking responsibility. Marcus Aurelius's thought and the lessons of the Stoics show how to become emotionally mature. Making sure people know that doing things without complaining is more than just a virtue. It shows that they are responsible. In this situation, accepting and knowing duty are very important for building self-esteem. Marcus Aurelius, who was both a philosopher and a ruler, thought about what life is all about and how important it is to take responsibility when things go wrong. His Stoic philosophy says that we shouldn't waste time complaining about things that are out of our control. Instead, we should focus on what we can change, how we react to things. So, taking responsibility doesn't just mean accepting chores. It also means having the power to shape how you deal with problems. Marcus Aurelius said that emotional growth means being able to deal with problems in a dignified way without letting your tears shake you. By taking responsibility, we can get past the victim mindset and see that we are the ones who are building our journey. Strengthening your resilience is important for improving your self-esteem as well. When you take responsibility, you stop blaming other people or things for bad things that happen. Philosophers called Stoics say that real freedom means being able to choose how to react to any situation. As soon as we say we will be responsible, we claim our independence and control over our lives. When we accept that we can face difficulties with courage and resilience, our self-esteem soars. You can't build your confidence by blaming other people or things for your problems. But when you take responsibility, you show yourself that you can get through tough times and make your own future. Reflections of Marcus Aurelius and Stoic advice tell us that being able to take responsibility is important for building self-confidence. Our lives don't have to be controlled by outside forces. We can write our own stories. Taking charge of our lives not only helps us build emotional resilience, but it's also one of the most important things we can do to keep our self-esteem high. This not only helps us face problems with determination, but it also builds confidence and a good sense of self-worth over time. To live up to your word. Building self-confidence isn't easy, but Stoic thinkers like Marcus Aurelius can help us understand things better and find more value in our lives. Out of all the lessons, the most important one is that you must keep your word. This concept not only makes relationships stronger, but it's also a key part of getting your mind back on track and looking for more value in your life. Although Marcus Aurelius was ruler of Rome, he knew that making vows is more than just being honest in relationships. He knew that it was a way to restore mental health and give our lives meaning and purpose. We can live a happier life if we make promises to ourselves as well as to other people. People who keep their promises show that they are honest and trustworthy. It's easy to underestimate how bad it is to break a word, but there are more effects than just letting other people down. According to research, breaking promises makes us feel bad about ourselves because it makes us doubt how honest we really are. So, keeping the word is the key to living a life that is in line with our inner desires. Self-esteem is also inextricably linked to honesty and keeping your word. Making vows and keeping them makes both our relationships with other people and our relationship with ourselves stronger. When we keep our promises and know that we can be trusted, not just by other people, but also by ourselves, our self-esteem grows. You can start your road to self-confidence by learning from Marcus Aurelius and the Stoics about how important it is to keep your word. Taking responsibility for the things we say we will do not only strengthens our relationships with others, but also helps us get back on track and give our lives value. Not only do we promise to keep our word to other people, but we also promise to keep our word to ourselves. By doing this, we boost our self-esteem and realize how important it is to be honest with ourselves and with others. We take a strong step toward personal confidence and living a purposeful and important life every time we keep a promise. Accepting yourself is the third important step to building self-confidence. It takes courage and knowledge to do this, but it lets us embrace our humanity and learn from the complicated past. Due to his interest in Stoic philosophy, Marcus Aurelius tells us that mistakes are bound to happen, but he stresses that how we deal with these mistakes is what makes us truly wise. In this situation, accepting yourself is not careless luxury. It's an adult knowledge that every choice we make, no matter what kind it is, adds to the complicated fabric that we are. Stoics, who stress virtue and self-control, make the point that accepting yourself does not mean being content. It means always wanting to get better. Accepting yourself doesn't mean ignoring areas where you can improve. It means being honest about the parts of your life that aren't as perfect. Taking ownership for the choices we made in the past is the first thing that we need to do to move on from our past and grow. Giving up harsh self-judgment is a part of accepting yourself. Marcus Aurelius tells us that when we criticize ourselves too sharply, we hurt our self-esteem and slow down our progress. Instead, self-acceptance asks us to see our flaws, learn from them, and most importantly, forgive ourselves. Adopting self-acceptance changes how we feel about the past. We don't get stuck because of our mistakes. Instead, they help us grow as people. Stoics say that real strength comes from being able to deal with problems with resilience and learn from them. Being fully accepting of who we are, flaws and all, is the first step toward building strong, lengthy self-confidence. Adoring yourself is a sign of authenticity in a world that often wants everyone to be great. We learn from Marcus Aurelius and the Stoics that accepting our mistakes doesn't mean we're weak, but that it means we're strong inside. Accepting yourself is not giving up on getting better. It's a strong base for building confidence in yourself. When we accept ourselves as people, flaws and all, we are free to be ourselves, learn and grow. The courage to be who we are and the unwavering confidence that we can change into the person we want to be are at the core of self-acceptance. The lessons of Marcus Aurelius and other Stoic thinkers offer a unique view on the value of silence and active listening in a world where people are always trying to express themselves. The fourth guideline, avoid excessive talking, is a good one for people who want to boost their self-confidence. Find out how speaking less and hearing better can help you build stronger relationships and self-confidence. Stoic wisdom, which encourages controlling your words and acting moderately, makes it clear how important it is to avoid being too talkative. From what he wrote, Marcus Aurelius says that silence often has more power than talking. Understanding when to speak and when to be quiet becomes a useful skill for those who want to build self-confidence. Speaking too much about yourself can hurt relationships and hurt your trustworthiness, in addition to making you look insecure. Stoics say that self-control and the ability to listen are the keys to real power. To actively listen is to show understanding and respect, not just to hear. Really letting ourselves listen to others shows a level of confidence that goes beyond words. Based on this philosophy, Marcus Aurelius notices that people who talk non-stop often need to be approved of by others. But real self-confidence doesn't need to be shouted out loud. It comes from being balanced inside. Our calm confidence, which is stronger than any haughty speech, comes through when we choose silence when it's appropriate. Improving your self-confidence is greatly helped by learning how to listen actively. We learn, grow, and make our relationships stronger when we pay attention to what other people say. Stoics think that the best way to learn is to listen carefully and take in what the world has to teach us. When used to boost self-confidence, this method suggests that sometimes the most powerful thing you can do is to stay quiet. The Stoic rule of not saying too much comes out as a smart warning that silence is often where power is. By practicing active listening and speaking less, we can improve our relationships and give ourselves more confidence. We can grow, learn, and connect with others more deeply when we know that having self-confidence doesn't mean telling a steady story about ourselves. We learn from Marcus Aurelius and other Stoic thinkers that using silence well is a strong way to build real, long-lasting self-confidence. Building character. Building character is a very important part of this puzzle. This moral side of the self, which is connected to beliefs, values, and actions, is a necessary road for people who want to trust themselves and make the world a better place. Marcus Aurelius's Stoic philosophy stressed how important it was to build a strong character as the basis for a worthwhile life. Stoic philosophers advocate focusing on one's own authenticity rather than seeking approval from others. In this case, developing character means making sure that our behaviors are in line with our greatest values, no matter what is going on around us. These thinkers say that character is formed by constantly judging oneself. They say that looking inward, questioning everything, and being ready to see and fix flaws are all important steps. In his Meditations, Marcus Aurelius tells us how important it is to look inside ourselves to figure out what drives us and how to act in a moral way. It's not a goal to develop character, it's a process of continuous self-improvement. Stoics stress that consistently doing the right thing is what real virtue is. This means being honest, caring, and fair, no matter what awards or punishments are given from outside sources. Not only does relentlessly pursuing moral greatness shape character, it also boosts self-confidence. Being the center of our choices and growing character are good things we can do for the world around us. Stoics tell us that everything we do, no matter how small, can affect the good of everyone. Being a better person helps build a more fair and caring society, in addition to raising our self-esteem. Marcus Aurelius and other Stoic thinkers taught us that self-confidence is not a separate state, but a logical result of becoming a better person. Having strong morals, good ideals, and moral behavior not only boosts our confidence, but it also helps us find our way through life's storms. Character development not only helps us learn more about ourselves, but it also gives us the power to make the world a better place. By accepting this trip, we not only gain confidence in our skills, but we also lay the groundwork for a life with meaning and purpose. Focusing on thoughts. Marcus Aurelius tells us to pay attention to our minds because the quality of our thoughts is a key factor in determining our happiness and self-esteem. Let's talk about how the key to building up your confidence is to challenge your deepest negative thoughts. The Stoic philosophy says that mastering your mind is a necessary part of being happy and fulfilled. In his Meditations, Marcus Aurelius thinks about how important it is to pay attention to thoughts and how the quality of these thoughts changes our lives. Understanding that the mind is a key battlefield can help people who are having trouble expressing their self-confidence. Low self-esteem can be caused by negative thoughts that come from judging and doubting oneself. Stoics say that to find meaning and happiness, you have to question these ways of thinking. Marcus Aurelius says that we should question the truth of our unconscious thoughts and see them as just readings, not absolute truths. Being aware of yourself is the first step in focusing on your thoughts. By watching our thought processes, we can tell the difference between good and bad thoughts. Stoic thinkers say that being able to choose thoughts that make you feel good and give you confidence is an important part of being happy. Getting rid of negative thoughts doesn't mean ignoring problems. It means looking at them in a positive way. The ability to change negative thoughts is a sign of inner strength, which is why Stoics value mental resilience. While looking for peace of mind, Marcus Aurelius stresses how important it is to be able to focus your thoughts on good things. We understand that we are truly strong when we face and change our most difficult thoughts, when we apply these principles to building self-confidence. A strong partner on the path to solid and lasting self-confidence is the mind, which can be developed with knowledge and authenticity. The idea of focusing on thought stands out as one of the most important tools for building self-confidence. Marcus Aurelius and other Stoic thinkers believed that the quality of our thinking is a key part of our happiness and sense of self-worth. It's not just a mental exercise to challenge and change bad thoughts. It's also a practice that changes the way you think about yourself and boosts your confidence. When we understand the mind's power, we realize that the real change in our search for self-confidence starts inside of us. Action over planning. The seventh concept, action over planning, tells us to stop just thinking about things and start doing them. Let's talk about how turning your wants into deeds is the key to building real, long-lasting self-confidence. The Stoics, who thought that life was an active expression of virtue, agreed with Marcus Aurelius that action is more important than planning. The change from thinking to doing is a big one for people who are having trouble expressing their self-confidence. While planning is important, its real goal is to get people to move. Stoics believe that setting goals and working hard to make them come true are both essential for finding true happiness. In his search for knowledge, Marcus Aurelius stresses that real virtue is not just thinking about ideas in a theoretical way, but also putting them into practice. So, having self-confidence isn't just believing in your own skills. It also means showing them off by doing things. It takes courage and dedication to turn wishes into real deeds. Stoics say that real growth is something that can be seen and feels. It comes from always being determined to work toward goals. Sharing goals can give the impression of progress, but the only way to really make progress is to keep working toward your goals. Self-confidence isn't something you get. It's something you work at, little by little, action by action. Marcus Aurelius encourages us to remember that every moment is a chance to choose to be good, which helps build self-confidence. Thought is the first step, but movement is where the real trip starts. Stoics say that life is a set of choices and that courage builds self-confidence. Marcus Aurelius said that we can be truly happy with our lives if we follow our ideas in everything we do. We learn that self-confidence is more than just an idea. It's a force that works in the world when we use the concept of action over planning. Marcus Aurelius and the Stoic philosophers tell us that the only way to find true happiness is to pursue our goals with courage. Putting your wants into deeds is the way to not only learn more about yourself, but also see your confidence come out in real life. May every step we take toward our goals show how strong we are by showing that we can act with purpose and drive. Nightly routine. The nightly routine is a gem of knowledge that shines a light on the way for people who want to boost their self-confidence. It can be found in the sea of Stoic philosophy and in the works of Marcus Aurelius. This seventh principle tells us to make writing in a gratitude book and going over our daily wins a daily habit. Let's look at how this simple habit can be a lighthouse that drives away doubt and feeds the fire of self-confidence. The Stoics believe that night is a holy time to think and get ready for the next day. Roman philosopher Marcus Aurelius suggested a daily routine that could help people feel better about their own self-confidence. By writing down the good things that happened that day in a gratitude book, you can avoid the negative thoughts that can make you feel bad about your own self-confidence. A big part of the nightly routine is noticing and praising the small wins that happen every day. For the Stoics, seeking knowledge meant realizing that self-confidence comes from both big wins and a string of small ones. Every day's review of our wins becomes a real proof of our strength and resilience. A gratitude book is more than just a place to write down things. It's a journey to find beauty in the little things that happen every day. Stoic philosophers argue that being thankful for what we have in life can help us feel more self-assured by bringing our attention away from apparent gaps and toward real wealth. By doing the routine every night, we create a safe space where good ideas can grow. Marcus Aurelius thought that self-confidence is built into the mind through the ideas we hold. The daily routine gives you a private chance to question deeply held negative thoughts and replace them with an attitude that values your strengths and accomplishments. When it's dark and quiet, the routine that Stoic thinkers suggested turns out to be a magic medicine for self-confidence. As you read through your gratitude book and list of daily wins, they serve as markers that show you that building confidence in yourself is not a one-step process, but an ongoing one. Each entry in the gratitude book should be like a brick that builds up your self-confidence. May each success we think about again in our daily review be like a song that reminds us of our strength and resilience. At dusk, may the evening routine be a celebration of who we are and what we can become, leading us on the never-ending path to boost our self-confidence. Ignoring pessimists. The ninth principle tells us to ignore pessimists because their complaints often show what other people are afraid of. Let's look at how this act of analysis can be a shield that keeps the flame of self-confidence alive. Through his Stoic knowledge, Marcus Aurelius knew that negative feedback could be a needless load on the path to self-confidence. The first thing that Stoics teach is that complaints often show us both who we are and the fears and weaknesses of the people who say them. Ignoring pessimists is not a sign of disrespect. It's a choice to keep your emotions in check. The Stoics think that the mind is like a garden. Negative thoughts, even those from other people, can kill the plants of self-confidence. It is important to choose positive relationships and keep oneself away from bad effects. Marcus Aurelius said that self-confidence grows in areas that are full of happiness and constructiveness. When negative criticism is met, not with more negative criticism, but with understanding and wisdom, it turns into a step toward good self-esteem. According to the Stoics, if we understand how criticism works, we can sort the good judgment from the bad and take in only the good. Ignoring pessimists isn't just a smart way to protect yourself, it's also a sign of confidence in your path. Stoic philosophers recognize that listening to one's inner voice is a sign of courage and authenticity, even when confronted with harsh criticism. So, self-confidence doesn't get shook up by weather outside. It stays strong like a rock rooted in self-understanding. Skipping over negative people is a useful skill on the path to building self-confidence. Like Marcus Aurelius and the Stoic philosophers, we should remember that complaints don't always show the truth. They're often skewed by people's fears. Choosing to connect with positive people and staying away from negative ones helps us build strong self-confidence. Putting these concepts into practice gives us confidence, a feeling of purpose, and the path to authenticity and self-realization. Putting these 9 ideas about putting self-confidence to use, we can see that confidence is not a fixed state, but a muscle that needs to be worked out. Our inner confidence grows, and we get closer to our goals with every brave action we take. At each stop on this path, we are asked to take responsibility for our self-confidence and build strong bases that can survive life's storms. Keeping our word is very important because it helps us build stronger relationships with other people, heals our minds, and gives our lives value. In light of this, I encourage you to leave your comfort zone, stop planning too much, and take a bold step towards success. Do something now, even if it's just a little thing, and feel the strong confidence that comes from taking action. Marcus Aurelius said, "Action is the fundamental key to all success." Remember that. As we conclude our deep dive into the Stoic approach to building ultimate confidence, it's time to reflect on the journey we've undertaken together. Through the exploration of Stoicism, we've uncovered a treasure trove of wisdom that offers more than just a temporary boost in self-assurance. It promises a profound transformation in how we view ourselves and our ability to navigate life's challenges. Remember, the journey towards unwavering confidence is a continuous process, one that benefits immensely from the deliberate repetition of Stoic principles. This practice isn't merely about memorization, it's about embedding these powerful insights into the fabric of our daily lives, allowing them to guide our thoughts, actions, and reactions. The more we revisit and apply these teachings, the more natural they become, leading to a steadfast confidence that is deeply rooted within us. Carry forward the lessons learned and the practices discovered on this journey. Allow them to be your compass in times of doubt and your anchor in moments of uncertainty. The path to true confidence is paved with the wisdom of Stoicism, a philosophy that teaches us to focus on what we can control, to embrace challenges as opportunities for growth, and to cultivate inner strength and serenity. Thank you for joining this exploration into how Stoicism can be the foundation for a life lived with ultimate confidence. May the insights you've gained inspire you to continue growing, learning, and strengthening your belief in yourself. Here's to your journey of discovery, resilience, and the unwavering confidence that comes from embracing the timeless wisdom of Stoicism.